meeting is being recorded. Okay, great. Okay, salam, good morning, and thank you for coming again. So some of you are coming fresh from yesterday's class, and some of you are probably coming here after attending my Goodwill class, the 50 ringgit per class session. How many of you are coming from the Goodwill classes? Can I know? Siapa yang datang from the 50 ringgit Goodwill classes and all that? See, quite a few of you. Right, great. Okay, so you all are more fresh than the people yesterday. The people yesterday are still clogged up with so much information. Yeah, so they're brave enough to do it 2 days in a row. So never mind. Everybody is on a level playing field when it comes to today's subject. Okay? Okay. This is actually a reminder for me to record session now, but I recorded already. Never mind. Now, before we start, I'm going to paste this link in the chat window as usual because we will be having some exercises today. So I'm going to paste this link in our chat window as usual. And please download that because you will be going through some exercises today. Of course, my class is not just me talking. You all know that for a fact. So you all will be involved in a few exercises that we're going to do today, okay? Some are planned, some are impromptu, but nonetheless, I'm going to keep you guys occupied and busy nonetheless. Okay, let's go to introducing infographics itself. Infograph, what? You know, some of you hear the term so many times, infographic, thinking that it's one word, right? But it actually was coined not that long ago, yeah. But it is a combination of two words, yeah, information and graphic. Yeah, for those who don't know, so information, graphic. So infographic, it becomes one word, yeah. And then what what infographics is all about is, you know, sometimes you have this kind of amount of data which is almost impossible for you to put into slides, yeah, to the point that you have to story tell or people have to read and all that, which defeats the purpose. So one way of making it look better is to represent each subject or each paragraph into a visual format. And some people think that, you know, infographics like vertical, the ones in vertical in nature like this, are almost impossible to put into slides, yeah, because it will be too small, people can't read and all that. But as some of you, actually all of you, because all of you have sat for my previous class, now that you know how to crop, yeah, each section and do the pushing transition and things like that, you know that you can actually break them down into different slides and just push it up so that, you know, it looks very, very seamless as you go from one slide to another, sharing each section of your data in a graphic format. Okay. Now, you know, and I'm going to share with you a very simple infographic video that PowerPoint can definitely do, because I'm sure you all have been practicing or probably even tried out how to record your presentations and things like that. So the moment you actually create this infographic slide by slide, yeah, you're able to create a very seamless, what do you call that, infographic video if you want to, right? And it can look like this. You get the idea of how you can actually present your data in a very nice but visual storytelling manner. Even if you record it and things like that, it will still be a very, very awesome way of displaying your data in a visual way. Yeah. So the end result, I hope some of us will be able to produce things like this in the near future. Yeah. And but before that, let's have a simple wavelength test. So similar, unlike yesterday where I started off by, talking about me and blah blah. There's no need for that anymore. So I'm gonna dive you all straight into an exercise. Yeah, just to see where we all are in terms of our common understanding towards what infographics are. Yeah. So, excuse me. What you see on screen are six different visuals. Yeah, six different visuals, and I have six different data. All right, and I have a design for a placeholder design to house each and every of those data to be accompanied with their correct visual. Yeah. So I want you guys to, it could look like this: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Okay, that was the teaser. All right. Now open exercise one, where you downloaded the link just now. Yeah. So I want you guys to open the first PowerPoint. Yeah, make sure you extract the folder first, and then inside there you will see three folders. There's one called exercise one. Open exercise one and try it out. I want you guys to start matching the image to the data to the right placeholder. Yeah. The placement is quite open ended, but I hope you all can roughly guess what goes where. Okay. So I want you guys to try it out and see whether you guys are able to catch it. All right. Starting from now. And then once you've done, you might want to screenshot it or save it as an image and then share it to me in the chat window. Okay, go. I'm going to paste the link again in case some of you were not in. Oh, okay. It's the last thing that was on the chat window. So never mind. Anybody that just joined, I will share the link again. All right. Control C and let me paste it. Control V. Okay, there you go. That's the link again, and try it out for the next 5 minutes, starting from now. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of submissions. Awesome. Now let me ini mini miny mo which one to take. Let's see Tanya has one. Because I remember Tanya from yesterday's class. So let's see what she has to. Okay. Perfect. All right, good. Okay, great. Okay, you can stop your exercise now. I'm sure everybody is done. Yeah. And now the reason why I want to, okay, let's see whether you guys got it right again. Yeah. Okay. This was my placement. Yeah. But if you have done, who got exactly the same placement as me? You know, even if you didn't get, it's not wrong. But who, any of you, just cross check with your attempts, who made the exact placement like mine? Wah, main saham sama, Asia sama, okay. Who else? Jacqueline sama. Wah, quite a few, yeah. So don't say you all not creative, though. If if some of you are able to get exactly as mine, that means you know the size and the size of each object and the data size and all that. So you managed to squeeze it correctly. So which is fine. But even if you didn't get the outer areas the same, is okay. But as long as did everybody put the center one the same as me? The center one. Yeah. If sama, say same. Cannot say of course because sometimes some people may not get it right. Okay. Great. The most important is that, yeah, because that's the main thing that the main subject that we want to highlight, right? Yes, because it represents the overall story. You're exactly right. Now, the reason why I want to highlight that is because I want you guys to know that, let's get everybody on the same page. There are 3 compulsory elements every time you do an infographic. So I want you to familiarize yourself with the term and what these things are. All right. The first one, of course, what you need is your data. There's no data, there's no reason to do infographics, right? Okay, so it's very straightforward. So you got data, and you also have your images or your icons or your visual aids, right? So, and the third one is, of course, you have your placeholders, or you can also call it sectional tools, yeah, which is a tool that you use. It can be in a graphic format, yeah, to sectionalize your content, to separate them between one from the other. Okay, so just familiarize with these terminologies because all this while all this what do you call that? Throughout the day, we'll be going through these exact words. Now, your image, your icon, and your visual aid and your data are what we call assets. So, of course, you need to have your assets for you to make your infographics. Okay, now, how do you get started? So, this is basically more of me highlighting the things that we're going to go through today. Okay, number one, of course, we'll be going through how to defining your audience, because let me tell you, if you have separate it's how do I put this? Okay, different audiences require a different technique to your infographic approach, because there's always a way for you to narrow down the design or the approach, to suit the kind of the kind of audience that you want to share it to. Okay, and I'll explain to you a little bit more about that in a while. And then, of course, you have to define your objective. Why are you making this infographic? Number 3, what's the topic and the format, all right? Because they both influence each other. The topic that you're going to talk about will also influence the format of which you're going to lay out your infographics. And then it's very important to have a checklist of assets, right? Based on all the data that you have, what are the assets that you have to accompany it? Yeah, that should accompany it. Okay, we have to make a checklist of that. And then fact check. Because let me tell you, the moment your infographic goes out and something is factually wrong, that's it. Yeah, that's the downfall of your reputation, and that's it. Yeah, and then you have to set a tone and feel, because different tones, different feels can contribute to a more effective what do you call that? Understanding, comprehension, and even attraction from your audience. And then we'll start designing the foundations. What do you require? Yeah, what are the things that you need to start your design, right? And then we'll go into the best part of the day, which I'm going to share with you how to create all these wireframes, all these placeholders, and the sectional tools and things like that. Trust me, the ideas are going to come out so much. You're all going to be, overwhelmed with options and ideas in future. Okay, so let's start with defining your audience first. Okay, why is important to define your audience? Because, well, you need to create infographics that are more targeted. It has to be more relevant, it has to be more suitable to a specific audience's characteristics, as well as their consumption behavior, as well as their level of understanding. Yeah, and I'll tell you what I mean. Yeah, if you're presenting to fellow industry mates, I mean you're in telco, yeah, and then you are presenting to fellow telco people. So imagine you're in a telco convention. You're up there giving a talk. Yeah, all your participants or all the attendees and your viewers are all from the same industry, right? So the moment you do that, there's so it's easier for you because you don't have to spell things out. Yeah, because a lot of the terminologies, the abbreviations, the familiar words are there, where everybody is able to understand it. So you don't really have to spell it out as opposed to the common man. I'll give you an example. Yeah, if you do something like this is a slide that I did for MTU. MTU, they are a supplier of marine engines. Yeah, they provide engines and power solutions to maritime and things like that. So, they don't have to. You see the words here like EPC and things like that, or OEM. They don't really have to spell out what it means. Like OEM, like official equipment manufacturer. The moment you are speaking to actual industry mates, yeah, certain things are spoken already, are self-explanatory. So you really don't have to spell it out. But if you're presenting slides like this, yeah, for the public, right? You might have to expand a little on the subject. So that's the difference, yeah, between presenting to people who already have a set level of understanding of your subject versus people who may not, right? So that's why you have to narrow down, and that's why you need to be very, very, very mindful of who your audience is. Okay. Or another example, if you're presenting to C levels, yeah, where C levels is a set of people where you cannot present too much data to the point that they are overwhelmed. They just want big ticket stuff. They just want to see overviews and high level stuff. Only if they ask you to elaborate, then make sure you have the capacity to do so. So, for example, I did this for University Kebangsaan Malaysia, for UKM, right? They are tabling a proposal to do a research to get funding from the ministry and things like that. And their last slide is just okay. If Mr. Minister, if your ministry provides us with the funding to do this research, this is the output that we can get out of it. We get 9 publications, we get 4 copyright. We got 4 copyrights, and we will also produce like 3 PhD students just through this exercise alone, right? So that's it. That's all they want to know, especially people who are in high level positions, right? Now, if you're presenting your infographics to the general public, that means you're putting it on Facebook, you're putting it in a public space, then it should be a little bit more colorful. It should be a little bit more insightful as well. The thing about public, right, and share worthiness is that it has to be something that's, oh, I never thought about that. Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, I never looked at it that way. Those kind of things will actually infuse and influence people to want to read more or even share to others who may not know the same thing as well. So if you look at the design, right, it's very straightforward, it's very clean, but at the same time, it's more on the data being uh, new, something that they don't know about, yeah, and it's also share worthy, yeah. So as I said, the different sets of audience, will also influence the manner of which you present your infographics. Now, your objectives, of course, you have to set objectives, before you even attempt to do. You have to know what you're doing it for, right? Okay, now this is going to be a little bit of a lengthy explanation, yeah, because there are a few objectives, yeah, why people will normally do infographics, right? The first one is, of course, you want to generate awareness. So what should you focus on when you're designing your infographics? What should you focus on when it comes to creating awareness? Yeah. The first thing that you want to do is that your key image, the main image or the header, your subject matter has to be very, very prominent. Yeah, it has to be very attention grabbing, because people's attention span, especially like on social media or web pages or things like that, they browse stuff very, very quickly. But the moment they see something really, really big and something very catchy, yeah, as very prominently, they're going to stop just to, and they'll probably track back and say, okay, what was that? What was that? You know, so it's good to have a very prominent and attention-grabbing header or a text, yeah, versus all the other elements. Once you get them sucked in by absorbing your header, then they will be reading all the ones below it, yeah. So when you want general awareness, make sure you get that eyeball first. For example, you can look at this, right? Coca-Cola, of course, you don't have to do much. If you're working for Coke, you just put the Coke logo besar-besar, that's it really, because it's such a prominent household brand and things like that. It's enough to get attention. And if you look at the Samsung S Pen, it's very straightforward. It's the big image of the new S Pen and the big header on the side. I particularly like what's done by Nissan here, where they could have easily, hard sell their EV, the electric vehicle, the Nissan Leaf, by putting the word Nissan Leaf, contributions of Nissan Leaf on top. But the fact is, they understand their customer psyche, right? And reader psyche. So the moment they make it sound like genuine or almost like a CSR message and all that, they just instead they will put this on top, the impact of one electric vehicle in a year. Only after that, they go brand agnostic first, just to make themselves seem like very sincere about the message. Only after that they will talk about the product specifically. Yeah, so these are some of the examples that you can use when it comes to generating awareness, right? But if your objective is about producing a report or highlighting a report or template, it's slightly different, yeah, because your focus should be about having a clean segregation and compartmentalization of your content. Because when you deal with numbers, you deal with percentages, you deal with data and all that, people need to be very clear in their head. They need to be very focused. And the best way to achieve focus is to clearly segmentize or compartmentalize your data so that they can see by plots, yeah, by section by section. If you play around too much, you're being too creative, and you just dump numbers in between each other and all that, it's going to create a little bit of a chaotic in terms of focus, yeah. So establish a clean look that will become identifiable as well. As I said, some of you may remember in terms of my example when I said my first class, yeah, where the most common infographic that has become recognizable in our eyes is the COVID-19 infographic by KKM. Every time they update a new infographic style, a new layout, they repeat it to death. Every day when you browse, you will see the same 5-6 boxes in between the Malaysia map and all that. You straight away identify it as KKM and you stop to look, right? So make sure it's so that goes the same in the corporate world. Yeah, if for the first start of the year, Q1, you're presenting a set of data points, make sure in Q2, Q3, Q4 you maintain that same template. If the first quarter was highly acceptable, if it was highly accepted and people appreciated it, the way you lay it out, please don't go and change it in the quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Make it consistent. Yeah, make it straight away identifiable so that over a period of 2-3 years, people from different departments or divisions or different interests, they will know where to look straight away in your set of graphics. Okay, which one is relevant to them, which one interests them, and all that. So make sure the familiarity is generated. Okay, I'll give you an example in terms of reporting. As I said, COVID, yeah, that's one example. As well as if you look at a generic example like this, it doesn't have to be overly creative, but look at the way they have cleaned up, and make it really, really structured and organized and symmetrical so that you see the compartmentalization very clearly. Yeah. So it's not so much about how many colors or how sengit you put the stuff and things like that, but when it comes to statistics keep it clean. Okay. So that's more on statistics. Now, some people, they also create infographics with the objective of converting, yeah, where you want an actionable, reply or action, yeah, from your consumers or your viewers. So in this case, um, you should always include content where it prompts people to do more. What do you want them to do? Okay, do you want them to find out more? Do you want them to click? Do you want them to fill out a form? Make sure you have that. Okay, so now if you look at the one on the left, right, it looks like the infographic design may not look much, but what I value from an infographic like this is that should I be interested in all this, there are details down there. So and the detail area on how to contact or what they should do should always be very clean, very simple. Don't try to overly design it. Okay. Same thing with the Scotch Brite here. You can even put your QR code and things like that, and that's it. Make sure there is an opportunity or assets that are supposed to allow people to do more, to achieve whatever you want them to do. Okay. Now, when it comes to explaining, certain objectives is just to explain a certain scenario. A clean look with a generous use of spacing, and effective use of connectors. Because when you want to explain, it's great for you to direct people's eyeballs to what they want to see first and what follows after that, so on and so forth. So templates like this is a very good way to explain a certain process or explain certain methodologies and things like that. You can even do things like this where you can even put numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and things like that. But even if you think about it, even if you remove these numbers, where do you think your eyes, I'm going to ask you guys a question and answer me in the window. If I had removed these numbers, which is the first gear that you would see first? Which circle will you see first? Your eyes are expected to see the light bulb, right? Exactly. So, okay, some of you will see blue, okay, but most of us here, will actually start off with the light bulb, because remember the human psyche that I was telling you about previously is that our eyes are expected to digest information from the top left to the bottom right. So even without numbers, I think our eyes will naturally draw our attention from the bulb and then moving down and reading it that way. But the moment you do arrows, you won't be starting from the top left, because the arrows serve as a guide. So they know that you have to look at the green first and then following the steps. So these two, although they are under the same objective, but they behave differently in terms of the layout. Where the use of arrows will guide your eyes, but if you don't have any directional assets to show, maintain the order of the human nature of absorbing information. So it goes from top left to bottom right. And last but not least, if certain people, they just want to summarize a very complex subject, right? So that's the objective. And when you do this, make sure it's just short, punchy descriptions. This is where, when your objective is to summarize a very, complex subject or subject with a lot of legs and things like that, don't bother designing, excessively, because all you have to do is use the placeholders, have short, punchy descriptions, and that's more than enough. Like for instance, next time you want to do an overview of your proposal, right? Just do very simple placeholders like this, blah 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 blah, and that's it. Don't have to do your journey and all that. Keep things simple. And this is even a more simpler approach. The explanation accompanied by graphics. This is something that's the easiest to do in terms of you want to do a summary of everything. So you can convert it to an infographic. Now, what's the topic and format? I'm gonna need you guys to help me out with this later, because I want you guys to get an understanding that the topic that you write about, the topic that you're going to do an infographic for, will determine or will dictate the kind of format that you push out. So let me explain this, okay? There are the most common infographic formats: statistic, where if you show statistics, okay, it's very clean. You can do something very simple like this. I think everybody in the room today can start doing this now. You're just getting icons and playing with the typography yesterday, the ones that I shared earlier, where the percentages are consistent in size and color across all the pointers, right? with the rest of the description in your normal text, right? And if there's additional data that you want to put in, they can remain in another placeholder at the bottom and things like that. You want to go advanced, also can, where you actually do things like this, where you color coordinate everything, you create all these assets from scratch to actually create a whole look and feel on its own. The one on the left is something you can just plug out of Google, tampal, and you get it done. Yeah. But the one on the right requires you to create these assets yourself so that it complements the color scheme that you want to achieve. All right. Now, timelines, right? Timelines can be as simple as what some of us are already doing today. How many of us are already doing timelines like this, the ones on the left? How many of you are doing the ones on the left here? Yeah. So great. So this is the most basic of approaches that you can do, yeah. And I hope everybody is doing timelines this way. Now, timelines can also be a very, very complex matter, where you can see the one on the right by by SpaceX, right? One timeline can show multiple types of subjects. That you have your timeline by the years, you have about the phases, you have about what each rocket does and things like that. So you have multiple explanations within the same timeline. That is also doable. Okay. Now, when it comes to process flows, it's a little bit different. Yeah, you can do something simple as just using the connectors. You do your placeholders, a circle and a circle and a circle, and then you connect them. Yeah. So that's it. So that explains one process after another. But you can also things like this, where if you have if you work for a social media moderator team, right? You're supposed to answer customer queries or answer customer complaints, or somebody complaining or criticizing something that is factually wrong. How do you correct the facts? How do you escalate to the higher authority? How do you block and things like that? So it can be very, very complex as well. Okay. And the next one is descriptive. Descriptive is very straightforward. You can do something simple as, your product, where you describe each and every element of your product, or it can be very advanced in a sense where you're explaining in terms of technical details and you're creating it purely for in your color, in the brand's color scheme, and giving breakdowns and data about everything in between. So there's a lot of ways that you can create this infographic. You can go very basic, which is not wrong. You can also go advanced. It's entirely up to you in terms of how intricate you want it to be. But now, coming to the format, how your topic influences your format. I'm going to give you 3 examples. Yeah. For instance, let's say we're talking about banking. Okay. The subject we're going to talk about is banking. Okay. So statistics, in a statistic format, the subject should be about new to bank or existing to bank customer base. You want to do a comparison in terms of percentage between people who have just recently opened their accounts or people who have been a customer for a long time. What's the growth rate? How many people opt out? How many people close accounts and things like that, right? But and then the next subject could be about social media. Yeah. So statistics for social media could be something about social media user engagement, right? How many percent of people watch your ads at this time? How many people click on this at this time, right? And things like that. So you want to show percentages and whatnot in terms of user engagements. Or if you talk about hospitals in general, yeah, hospitals and things like that, you talk about the accessibility of the community to all the healthcare that they need, right? From urban to rural and things like that. But when it goes to timeline, right? When it goes to doing timelines, it changes. You see, like under banking is probably about from traditional banking to digital. Yeah, what happened throughout the years when we started to introduce the ATM machine, when credit cards were made available, and and then digital banking came about. You want to talk about the evolution from digital, from traditional banking to digital. That's a timeline. Yeah. So in social media engagement is probably about, the growth in user base from the point you launch your page to where you are today. How much did you grow over the years? That's a timeline. Yeah. And then for hospitals, it could be about the evolution in healthcare technology, because nowadays doctors can, from the US, if you have 5G capabilities, there are instances where a surgeon in the US is is doing a 5G operation to a patient in Europe, yeah, using robotic hands and all that. Yeah, so that's another. You want to talk about the evolution of how from the traditional way people have been doing operations and all that to what current day is? That's a timeline. Now, process flow is something like online banking registration. How do you register for online banking? So you show first, you have to log in, you have to sign up, register, put your name, put your details, blah, blah, and then get the bank's approval. Once they approve, link it to your account, blah, blah. So that's a process flow. Social media, customer complaints escalation, like the sample that I showed earlier. How do you escalate when somebody makes a complaint or somebody says something that is factually wrong on your page? How do you escalate? That's a process, right? And then when it comes to hospital plug, it's retrieving patient records. If a patient from a certain hospital goes to another hospital, how do these two hospitals talk to each other in terms of sharing the patient record information and things like that without actually having to carry a physical folder from one one hospital to another? If you want to explain that in an infographic format, that's a process flow. So last but not least, if it's a descriptive infographic, then when it comes to banking, it could be something about benefits of online banking, yeah. Or in social media, it could be what are the characteristics of a good social media dashboard? What are the things that you need that a social dashboard need to have for it to be good for the marketeer? Or in the subject of hospitals, it could be about healthcare tourism ecosystem. When it comes to healthcare tourism, what roles do each party play, from the government to the hospitals to the ancillary to the public to the tour to the travel agents? What is the ecosystem? So as you can see, it's just 3 different subjects, but the topics itself will influence the format of your infographic, whether it's a stat, whether it's a timeline, whether it's a process flow, or whether it's descriptive. Now, I want you guys to help me out with this, okay? Based on what I explained in my previous slide, I need some interaction from you guys. I've got a few topics that I want to talk about, yeah? The first topic is COVID-19, and these are the subtopics, okay? And then my next topic is road safety, and these are all the subtopics. I want you guys to help me match, okay, to put them into the sections that I put here, yeah, that I've highlighted here. So I want you all. Okay, so a lot of people, the general of you all, come on, think a bit more. Somebody else? Okay, great. Okay, good. I agree with you. Okay, to me, I believe it is a growth. It is a timeline because you're going by month. So you might want to show, from January all the way to December. So you're creating infographic, you're creating a line and showing how it grows and things like that. Okay, new cases update. What is that? What does that fall under? Stats. Great. Okay, good. I see the majority are saying stats. So and I agree with you, that is a statistic. Okay, reasons to wear mask. Is that descriptive or is that a process flow? There you go. All right, we're all getting the hang of it. Awesome. All right, let's put that in. And the last topic is steps to apply for vaccine. Of course, that is, reasons to wear mask is descriptive. I put it wrongly. Salah letak. Wait, let me send this to the back. Wait, send it back. Okay, so this goes under descriptive. And of course, steps to apply for vaccine is a process flow. So you all get the concept of how this works. Yeah. Now let's do the second one. For road safety, reasons to wear seatbelt. Where does that fall under? Descriptive. All right, great. Agree. Okay, now guide to check tire pressure. How the steps to take that you need to take to check your tire pressure. What is that? There you go. Process flow. Correct. Okay. All right. And then we go to annual growth in road fatalities. Yeah. Timeline. Correct. You are right. Timeline. Yeah, annual growth. So you might want to go from 2010 to 2020. Did it grow or not? Okay. Now, cause of fatalities, then of course it is by percentage and all that. That goes to your stats. So immediately you are able to identify your topic with the type of content, with the type of infographic content or in the type of flow that you should be producing. Yeah. So these are the things that you really, really have to consider and identify before you even create your design. Okay. Now coming to the next subject, right, is this, the checklist of assets. This is going to get interesting. You're going to have an exercise immediately after this. Okay. Now, it is important that you receive all data before you even begin to design. This is the problem that I think all of you have today. Imagine somebody tell you, okay, hey, can you try and do an infographic or design this set of data that I give you. I give you the 6 data. Yeah. So you receive the 6 data, you do your 6 placeholders, you do your design cantik-cantik and things like that. Sudah ngam. Suddenly, 3 days later, your boss come in. Hey, can squeeze in this one. I got one more data I want to share with you. Is that a common problem that some of you have? Tiba-tiba last minute things start to come in for you to sumbat, masuk in between and all that. So I know it's a standard issue. I know, right? So it's very, very common. Now, I think there's no way to stop this, is it? Except that we have to explain to our superiors, please, can we fix a date for you, for you to submit all the assets by when? Because I cannot create the outline, the foundations and all that without knowing how many. You have to redo the entire thing, correct? You cannot just sumbat in between, right? So you have to create everything. You just cannot retrofit additional info. So you have to prepare the placeholders, the outlines and all that based on 7 data. If it's 7, then it's 7. Right? The moment somebody gives you 2 more and you need to do 9, that you have to build from scratch. So we have to at least educate our superiors, the powers that be, that please, I'm going to do a timeline. You all have to submit to me your data points or your assets by when. Otherwise, please, I can't do it. Yeah, I have to push the deadline because you all are coming in last minute. Yeah. Okay. Now, susah. If client memang susah, I understand. But if any of your clients are pangyao with you, then please get them to understand first, or create a more generous timeline so that you all don't bust it lah. Yeah, outsource to Joe Najib, boleh lah. That comes with cost for people. Okay, anyway, visuals can be a collection between what you already have. Yeah, some of you may have your internal punya image banks or a set of icons that you all are allowed to use and things like that. Or it could be a combination of things that you actually need to add on lah. Yeah. But, make sure you have visuals and icons and images for every data point. Yeah, you need to have that consistency. If you have 7 data points, 5 are with images and the other 2 are just text, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. Yeah, and don't just be happy with one option. Create a pool of visuals first. For every data point, make sure you have at least 2 or 3 so you can make there's a variety for you to choose from. If this one doesn't quite fit, then you have something on standby that could probably do better. Yeah. Now I'm gonna show you a really, really cool exercise that I want you all to participate in. Okay. So I'm gonna share a few data here. All right. The world's total population is at 7.6 billion with 56% urbanization. Number 2 is there are 5.11 billion unique mobile users, translating to 67% penetration rate. Number 3, there are 4.38 billion internet users, and then 3.4 billion are active social media users. And out of 3.4 billion active social media users, 3.2 of them are using their smartphones. Okay. Now, I want you guys to try and tell me, yeah, when you have a data like this, the world's total population is at 7.6 billion with 56% urbanization. Okay, tell me what kind of icons should I look for? Give me a few samples. What visual should represent it? Try. Come on. The first data point. City icon. Okay. Lagi. City, building, human, globe, world map, people. Okay, you're all saying the same thing but using different words. Great. I like it. Now let's see whether I got it correct. Yeah? To those who said people, great. To those who said city, great. To those who said world, there you go. Okay? So that's an understanding right there. Alright? Awesome. Semua dah pandai. There are 5.11 billion unique mobile users, translating to 67% penetration rate. Okay, go. Next one. Handphone. Handphone, mobile, handphone, mobile. Okay, of course, that is self-explanatory, correct? So exactly, you have your human, you have your, hands holding smartphone or even smartphones itself. Yeah, you have people and all that. Great, good. Now the third one, there are 4.38 billion internet users, a penetration rate of 57%. Network, Wi-Fi symbol, awesome, right? Wi-Fi icon, world map, guys, you all are not wrong at all. Some even say computer. There you go. You've got computer, you've got world, you've got the internet logo, and you also have Wi-Fi. Great. Semua pandai already. The next one. 3.4 billion people are active social media users. That's 45%, blah, blah. Okay, straight away. Social media icons semua sudah jawab. Banyak laju. Bagus. That's all you need. Yeah. All the social media punya icons. Maybe, yes, you might want to add people as well. Okay. All right, the last one. Out of 3.4 billion active users, 3.2 of them use their smartphones. Again, something that you all said earlier. What? HP, phone, lagi smartphone, that's it. Yeah. Smartphone with icons. Exactly, Rajinder. You got exactly right. So, smartphone and some icons inside it. So, this is no-brainer. Everybody gets to do it. But now, here's the trick. Here is the underlying problem. Okay. Look at all the icons side by side, right? What's wrong here? Tell me what's wrong with it, or what do you think is wrong with this list of icons? Too much? Tak sama color, not in harmony, different concept, different the theme, color scheme. Yeah, exactly. Size. Okay, great. Size pun, yes, not standard. All right, good. No common design theme. I'm getting a lot that you all are, you all are saying basically the same thing, but of course it highlights a number of problems here. Now, and I agree with all of you. Let's look at this. I'm sure you all had the same thing. In a nutshell, they're very different in terms of design sense, in terms of color scheme, in terms of, dia tak nampak macam family. Right? It doesn't look like it came from the same source. It doesn't look like it came from the same designer and things like that. It looks messy. Betul, yeah? So, now, I'm sure, how many of you have these problems when you're sourcing for icons on Google? Ramai kan? Okay. Biggest problem, Shafi? Okay. All the time. Now, guys, I'm going to show you a cheat code how we can standardize them. This is all you're going to have. This is you're all going to have fun with this. Okay. Now, the biggest difference is that when we search, yeah, there are two types of icons out there. Okay, two types. The first one is the black 2D types. These are the ones that are generally either all black, either all white, or all single color, and they're all in outline shape like this. And then you also have the vector style icons. Vector style icons are in color, and most of the vector styles, the color scheme, right? They have a two-tone bright and dark like this. Yeah, you see the earth there, half is dark, half is bright. Even the faces of the people here, you see that they always apply that two-tone technique. Same thing goes for monitor or any sort of icons that has this two-tone approach is known as a vector icon. It's full color, it's two-tone, and that's it. The most common problem that we don't even realize what we're doing is that we combine the flat 2D icons with vector icons. Some are carrying vectors, some are carrying 2D, some are carrying vectors, some are carrying 2D. That's the common problem that we face without us realizing. Okay? So, the first thing that we can do, okay, is that stick to one. If you're going to use 2D, use 2D all the way. Okay? If you're using vector, use vector for all. The biggest problem is when we mix it. Okay? So, in future, opt for either one and it will start to look cleaner. But now, here's what I want you to do also. This is a this is going to be a big help for a lot of you, okay? What if we can create frames for our icons so that they start to look more standardized? Now, watch this because you all are going to have this exercise right after this. I'm going to put something like this, okay? There's a shape here on PowerPoint where it's like a donut, and then you can open it, you can make it bigger, and then you can use this yellow dot here to actually make the color area smaller, like that. Yeah. So I'm going to remove the outline. And in terms of the shape fill, I'm probably going to use maybe this color lah. Okay, for example. And then I'm going to create another shape, a circle. Okay. And I'm going to use this color, for example. Let's use a cool color like maybe this. Okay. No outline. I'm going to put it inside, make it a little bigger, and like that, for example. Come on, go middle, go middle. Come on. All right, there you go. Now, I've created a frame to put my icons in. But what's going to make it look cooler is that I'm going to copy this. Okay. I'm going to paste it as a picture. I'm sure everybody knows how to paste it as a picture by now, right? Now, I'm going to cut this picture version. I'm going to crop it to half. Okay. Crop it to half like that. For example, that crop. Okay. Now this cropped layer, I'm going to put it on top of my earlier file. Okay, on top, exactly like that. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to format picture because it's a picture format. We flattened it. I'm going to go to the picture editing here, and I'm going to bring the brightness down a little bit. The brightness bar here, I'm going to bring it down. So I have a two-tone approach right there, right? And then copy this and paste it as a new picture. So now I have a vector style of a frame, right? And I can just chondong it like 45 degrees like that, just to make it look a little bit nicer as opposed to just plain straight, right? And then I can cut and paste again, to create this shape. And now I can bring this, earth to the front. I can put it in, right? And maybe change the icon from black to white. Remember, we can push the brightness 100% so that it becomes white. Shape effect, put a little bit of shadow, and that's it. And now I can copy that frame, right? And put it across all my other icons that I found on Google. Yeah, regardless whether it's 2D or whether it's vector, I apply the same technique, right? Shape effects, shadow, down, and then same thing again. That's paste there, and instantly you are going to have a very family-esque, a very family-looking set of icons just by creating, this framing to house all your icons. So it's that simple in terms of how you make it look as though it was done especially for you. Yeah, and imagine I dropping your brand punya corporate colors as your framing. So all these icons will look like it belongs to your brand. Yeah, senang, habis cerita. So you don't have to. You can just find all the icons from Google and then put it into your frames, and immediately it looks like they were done just for you. So I want you guys to try this out. Okay, go to exercise 2. Yeah. Before that, let me just do a quick demonstration. What happens when you do this? If you do a slide like this where all the icons look messy and you apply that framing technique, look at how clean it looks the moment you put it inside its respective frames and you color coordinate your data to the colors of the frame itself. It's going to look so much cleaner, so much neater, so very the cantik. Okay? Now, I want you guys to open exercise 2, in the folder just now. Open exercise 2, and I want that all those icons are there. I want you to try to create those frames again. Yeah. Remember, if you remember how I created those frames, it's just by creating just combining two shapes and then saving it as a picture and then cutting it to half, darkening it, and then twisting it a bit. Go and try it out and see. I have all the icons in there. It's so easy, Fatima. Senang je. This is my job here. I'm here to release ideas for you to make your lives easier. Okay, go and try it out. I'm going to give you, let's see, take 15 minutes to play around with this. See the instructions on exercise 2 and have fun with it. If you have any questions, let me know. So now it's exactly 10:40. So take 15 minutes to do this. Yeah. No, wait. Now it's 10:40. Okay. Take 10 minutes to do this plus 5 minutes for a quick break. So we will start again at 10:55. Okay. Go and have fun and try it out. If you have any questions, try it out. Okay. Where's the donut icon? For those who want to see the donut just now. When you go to your shapes, right? Your shapes here, it is under basic shapes. Under basic shapes, you will see this one. Yeah. Like that. But you can always enlarge it. Remember to press shift or you lock the aspect ratio first. So when you expand it, and then use the yellow dot to adjust the sizing of the color area. Yeah. And then you put a circle in the middle. Okay, try it out, guys. How to maintain aspect ratio. If some of you dah terlupa when I explained it during my full class. If you want to increase without losing the shape, right? Just right click, format shape. Okay, format shape. Go to size and properties. Yeah, the last icon here. Under size, you click lock aspect ratio down there, so that when you pull, dia tak lari. Okay, it doesn't become your telur or whatever. Okay, go, try it out. Any questions, just ask me in the chat window. Go. 10 until 10:55, yeah? So take a 5-minute break as well. Sorry. Yeah, the download link, hang on. Let me see, where is that link? Oh. Okay, I'm going to copy it now. Copy and put it in the window. Okay, here's the download link. Go and try it out. Also, guys, you don't have to restrict yourself to doing only circles, yeah, because you can practically use any shape whatsoever, to create your framing. I'll also give you an example. For instance, you wanna use hexagons, right? The hexagon shape also can. And one of my favorite styles of using this is for hexagon, right? I can actually do something like this where I create a shape like brown, right? And then I create a little bit of transparency. Yeah, I go to format shape, and then the shape here I put a little bit of transparency, maybe about 30% or what, and then I will create another, I'll create another hexagon, change the color a bit, yeah, to maybe yellow or something, and remain the transparency so that when you put it like you put it slightly out of alignment, right, like that, and then put another one, maybe a different color, maybe red or whatever. And the moment you sengit kind of thing, right, make it like jauh-jauh like that, it can still look like a really, really nice, what do you call that? A really nice frame, yeah. So it doesn't have to be necessarily a circle, yeah. It can come in any shapes or forms depending on how you prefer it. Yeah. Okay, for those who didn't manage to complete yesterday's class or joined this class late and things like that, don't worry because you all will be getting the video within either by this evening itself or yesterday's one. And for this one, you will get it between tomorrow or the day after. But we will be sending out the link for all the videos within the next 3 days so that so that things are still fresh in your head when you get it. Yeah, so don't worry about that. Okay, guys, let's take another 5 minutes to try this out to finish this, and then we will proceed. Ellen, very cantik lah. Very, very cantik. Good. Like it. I think this is something you can apply straight away in your next set of presentations. Confirm can one. When you increase the brightness, full brightness, it becomes full white. That's because what do you call that? It's a flat image. It's not a PNG. It comes with a background, so it becomes full white. So try to use PNG files to actually play around with brightness if you want to increase it. Okay. So let me see someone else's work as well. Oh, the RB Highcom. Nice color scheme. Awesome. Perfect. Good job. I think that's yeah, it's definitely the RB Highcomish now. That's a good exercise there. Good output. So let's see yang lain. Cikgu Azura. Let's see. Mari kita lihat. Smart. Nice. So you all get the technique, yeah? Get the technique of how this is done, right? So let's look at Supasans. Right, click to open. There you go. Awesome. Nice. Okay, great. So I can see that everybody is now show us the two-tone. Boleh, jangan, no problem. The two-tone technique is when, okay, let me clear everything first. Let me delete everything else so that you all tak nampak, don't see the sibukness of all these things. Okay. One final example, one final demo is that, once you dah create the circle, okay, and once you dah create this outer circle, okay, kita highlight kedua-dua, kita ambil kedua-dua layer, take both of it, kita copy, right, copy, and then kita paste sebagai gambar, paste it as a picture, alright. Now, this flattened version, this picture version, take it, and then we crop it, alright. Crop it to half. Okay, find a halfway point, crop, and then kita gelapkan. Go to picture correction, brightness turun. Dah, and then we put it here. Okay, like that. And once kita dah put, kita select kedua-dua balik, kita copy balik, and then kita paste balik sebagai gambar baru. And then kalau you nak sengitkan, make a 45 degree angle ke apa, you sengitkan dulu, make it go like that, and then you cut balik, you control X balik, and then you paste as another picture. So dia akan jadi macam ni. Yeah, got it? Alright. Okay, one more example. Let's see from Ashley. Alright, let's see. You all, I am confident lah. You all can do it lah. Very pretty. Single monotonous blue color. Nice approach. Awesome. Alright, guys. Good. Now you can you can try and apply this immediately in your next presentation that you have to do. So whatever problems that you had before in terms of not being able to standardize your icons and things like that, do you think that will be a problem now after this? No, So I'm sure everybody is able to come up with a very standard family looking set of icons from now on. No problems there. Okay, great. All right. Let's move on to the next subject. Okay. How to make icons white. Okay. For those yang dah terlupa, if you find an icon, right? Let's go to the Google lah. Okay, let's go to Google images. Okay. If you search for an icon lah, yeah, smartphone. Okay. Is copy. Dan kita masukkan ke dalam PowerPoint kita lah. Alright. Put it inside our PowerPoint. Okay, you might not see this. Wait. Okay. Let me shrink out a bit. Alright, you see the icon there, right? Okay, if you want to change, make sure it's a PNG file, yeah, that has no background and all that. If the PNG file doesn't have, it has no background and all, then you can straight away go to your picture punya setting ni. If it's not open, then all you have to do is right click on your icon, go to format picture, open the panel, and under picture corrections, just increase the brightness to 100%, dia akan jadi putih. The problem that some of you all have is if you take a smartphone icon that has a background, Okay. For example, like this. Okay. This one comes with a gray color background. You copy image and then you put it into your PowerPoint like that. Okay. Of course, if a picture like this, if you increase the brightness 100%, this is what's going to happen. It becomes white, the whole box. Yeah. So make sure you find a PNG file that doesn't have a background, so that when you increase the brightness 100%, it's only the outlines here that becomes white, not the full thing. Yeah. So that is the biggest difference. Yeah. Remove background pun okay, correct. That means kalau you jumpa gambar macam ni, yeah, you jumpa gambar macam ni, and then you double click, you pergi ke remove background, you go to the remove background, and you mark areas to keep if the phone punya apa tepi-tepi ni tertinggal and all that. Then you keep changes. Then now it's okay already. Yeah. So things like that. So that's how you do it lah. Kalau ada background, remove the background. Yeah. But preferably it's easier to find the ones that are PNG that doesn't have any background. Okay. Great. So that's that. Okay. Let's move on to the next subject. Okay, I want to talk about fact check. This will be the shortest explanation ever. Yeah, of course, it's very important for you to fact check. And it's also very important for you to, if you have a statement like this, the world population as of October 2020 stands at 7.8 billion. If you don't want it to be debatable, or you don't want people to say that you're plucking these numbers out of the sky or something like that, make sure you add, your what do you call that? Your source right below it. You see? Or where do you get it and all that? The statement that you extracted from the relevant website. Okay, so make sure you do that disclaimer. Now, if you look at it, right, this disclaimer, right, the moment you put it right under your text like that, okay, it doesn't just become a support statement. If you put your head back, right, if you move back a bit, right, it actually becomes like a part of the design. It becomes a design element to complement your big statement there, especially when you make it like almost not readable. People have to squint their eyes to read and things like that. You don't have to make it like besar-besar sampai people have to baca. If people have to, if your disclaimer is also very big, that is not a disclaimer. That becomes another row of sentence on its own. So the best is to make it to the point that it's almost not readable. That only if people want to know where you got your source, they have to read. They can read it lah. Yeah. Alternatively, if you don't want to put it in your infographics like prominently like this, you can also put it at the bottom lah. Yeah. Things like that. As long as it, as long as you give accreditation to where you get these numbers and all that, in case people ask. Okay. There's no wrong or right in terms of doing that. Yes, Christian, it's like terms and condition apply. You're right. Okay, now, setting a tone and feel. I want you to know that everything that you put on your infographic, right, in terms of your assets, right, will give a specific tone and feel to your overall infographic. Yeah, and I'm here to break it down for you. Okay, in terms of, these are the asset or the things that will help give your infographic a specific character. The choice of colors that you use, the kind of backgrounds that you put as well, the typefaces that you use, as well as the kind of shapes that you include into your infographics, right? So I'm going to give you an example. We'll start off with colors first. The moment you go with a color like red, yeah, it's going to give a very strong character, something like aggressive in nature. It can be an alert. It's very imposing. It's bright. It's harsh. Yeah. So it's the moment you want to portray this sort of characters, like strong, aggressive, and all that, you use a bold color like red. Yeah. Whereas if you use blue, very bluish tones and things like that, or even green, yeah, it's very calm, it's very friendly, it's reassuring, it's soft. So as you can see, even if you use this kind of colors as your background and things, it will project a subconscious feel to it. Yeah. If you want to have a very serious subject, something that's factual, rigid, non-negotiable, solid, you use very metal or monochromic colors like gray, right, or silver, right? And if you want things to be very simple, just stick to white or something slightly off-white, and that's it. Yeah. So the choice of colors will actually give the mind a subconscious, categorization of character to what you want it to portray. Now, when it comes to background, it's the same thing. Yeah. If you want to look very like modern, look solid, factual, imposing, and all that, you can use a naked, concrete kind of background. I think that's going to look cool. Anybody who has this, who likes a very minimalist approach to everything, you can use this, because all these minimalistic designs, they like to use raw materials and things like that. So a raw, hard, concrete surface as your background would be a very nice touch to it. Yeah, but if you make it more warm and traditional and relaxed, you can use very earthly texture. You can use your wood. You can use like your leaf veins and things like that. If you want to. Now, when it comes to if you put digital style of background, then that's for more very tech savvy kind of subjects. If you want to talk about technology, you want to talk about digital, you want to talk about things like that, then butter and kayu, yes, very Scandinavian, correct. Same thing, if you want to go playful, endearing, just choose a bright assortment of colors like this, and it will project that kind of character to your infographic. So, it plays a big role. Don't just simply take any wallpaper and think, why doesn't it work? When you are not projecting the right kind of character that you want. Yeah. Now, you can go very simple as well, just by colors. Yeah. You get in terms of just when you want to create your sections like this. Yeah. The moment you put it like in vertical nature like this, it's very clean and simple. You want it to have a very progressive nature. You can slant it a bit like this. Yeah. And the moment you slant it, right, people's eyes will be drawn to reading from the left to the right. They will feel like you need to progress from left to right to understand the infographic. Yeah, or you can have a very relaxed or organic look by creating these shapes. Now, I'm sure some of you, okay, Zabi is asking the background also need to be very family-ish with the icon. Correct, yeah. It can be family-ish, but as long as it doesn't drown. So your background can be the darkest tone of the same colors that you use for your icon punya what do you call that, the framing. Yeah, it can be very dark or even much brighter, as long as you are able to give a very strong contrast between what's a background and what's your foreground, what's your content. Yeah. Color pairing, no, not really. There's color pairing, try to use within the same color schemes that project the same kind of character. Don't go from white and red and all that unless you have two contrasting subjects that you want to talk about. Yeah, but most of you will remember me talking about the, what do you call that, the pastel tones yesterday, which I applied here. And the pastel tones come with a set of colors that match. Yeah. So the moment you do that, then it becomes a lot easier. Now, some of you may be wondering, how actually can I create backgrounds like this, right? Where strip, some are vertical like that, some sengit a bit, and some having this organic look. Do you want me to do a quick demo on how to do these three different stuff? Yeah, because I can actually share it with you. Okay, good. All right, okay, come. Let me share this with you. It's not in my previous module, but I can definitely share this very, very quickly. Okay. Now, for example, you want to create a vertical one, it's very straightforward, right? Create your shape, right? You don't have to create three. If you want to separate by three, right, you don't have to create three. You can actually just create two. For example, what I mean is this. You can do one like that, right? Okay, so let's remove the outline. Shape fill, let's do the first one. Maybe like that, or this color lah. And then you copy paste, right? Using your smart guide, make sure you lock it, yeah? Make sure you lock it together and like that. And then use the next color, right? And then the third one, you don't actually have to do a shape because this is already your background, the slide background. So you can just format your background color and change it to the next color. That's it. And you become it's three straight away. All right. So that's the first one. Okay. Now, the next one, when we do a slanting effect, that's even easier, right? Let's change the background color first. And then we take a shape, right? Let's take a rectangle. Okay, like that. And then no outline. Shape fill, let's use this color. Right. Now, to make the slanting effect, this one you go by halfway point like that. This is what a lot of people will have never thought about. which is so easy to do, but you all never thought about it. Let's do this. There's a shape here. Yeah, if you don't know where to find this shape, go to home. Under the shapes, yeah, under the basic shapes, there's this slanting rectangle here. Yeah, the one with the yellow dot. Yeah, like that. So all you have to do is just make sure the top and bottom are aligned, and then you stretch it out like that, right? Put it in the middle, and you try like whether you want to slant it more or you want to slant it less. It's up to you. Yeah, that's what the yellow dot is for you to move it around to adjust the slanting. Okay, and then for this shape, you just put in the third color lah, right? So that's how it looks like straight away. Yeah, so you don't literally have to put three boxes or whatever. It's just putting the slanting one in between, and it does its job. Because when it comes to full screen in presentation mode, it looks like there's three like that. Yeah, so that's how quick it is. That's how easy for you to create this three section slanting punya technique. Okay, so that's that. The third one is where I did this organic look. How many of you can guess how did I do this organic look? Can somebody try to guess how did I achieve this? I'm gonna give 10 seconds for you all to guess. Pandai. Nampak kan? Actually, yes. For those who cannot see circle, yeah, bubble circles. For those who cannot see circles, come, let me show it to you. All right. This is the best part. I love doing this in a lot of my backgrounds. You have to create background colors and these things like that. You're right. It's exactly three circles. And how I did it is I will shrink my slide. Yeah. I will zoom out on my slide to the point that it becomes small like that. Yeah. I zoom out maximum. And then I put in circles. And then I enlarge my circles like this. Yeah. No outline, shape fill, and transparency. Create like maybe 37%. Okay. As long as it covers all the areas of your slide. Yeah. The second color is, of course, the darker tone like that, right? You can put it anywhere, like random. Just go random. You can put it at the bottom like this, right? And the third one is Control C, Control V. And maybe it's here, and you can increase it a bit more so that it covers your entire slide. You can put it like that, and then change the color, and that's it, right? So when you go into full screen, and what people see on slide is this. It's a very nice combination of shapes, yeah? And it will be a very smooth, relaxed, very warm-looking background, yeah? Okay, take 5 minutes to try this. I especially want you to try the slanting and the circle technique, yeah? Take 5 minutes to try it out and see whether you're able to create that. And go to Google, yeah? Go to Google and search for your pastel tones combination, right? There's a lot here. The ones that I like is something like this. The one that you see my sample is I'm using this one, yeah. But you can also try other combinations. There's quite a few pastel tone references that you can try. Why don't you try and color combine them and create this kind of look for your background? Okay, take 5 minutes. Now it's 11:12. Let's take it 8 lah, so that you have 3 minutes to warm up your drink, yeah. So up to 11:20. Go and try it out now. Okay, let's check out some attempts. Aizu. Lembutnya. Very nice. Very nice. Cool. Okay, good. Okay, guys, 5 more minutes to go. So do take a quick break, and then we'll go all the way until the end of the day. Now, is everybody's speakers on? Everybody can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, I have a question, and I want you, those who are relevant, not everyone, those who are relevant, to give me a direct answer. How many of you here are attending my class for the first time? That means you did not join the full class, the putting power to your PowerPoint, but straight away come for infographics. Is there anyone here that's ruling? Okay. Casey. Okay. Great. Now, the reason why I am asking is because, well, initially, I intend to, what do you call that? I intend to share the link for the video for yesterday's class, here. But considering that some of us here today have not attended that, so I'm unable to do that. If not, I can share you the link straight. Okay, but and since there's about 70 of us here, minus 8 or 10 that are coming here for the first time, maybe if there's an opportunity later, I will try to personally send a message to all the participants, who attended yesterday's class, and I can share the link with you here. But otherwise, if not, you just wait for a few more hours, or by tomorrow, then I'll give you all the link. Okay. Because if everybody here has attended, then it's okay for me to share the link. But otherwise, we'll have to wait. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. 3 more minutes, and we'll continue. Yes, Casey, I think I remember you. You did come for yesterday's class. All right, noted. So for some of you who actually jumped the course in terms of, you did not come for my full class, but you're coming straight for the infographics, yeah. Some of the techniques that I shared today, some of them might be alien to you in terms of pasting as pictures, using the eyedropper and things like that. So I would recommend that you join my the earlier class, the full day class about all these techniques, yeah. Because I'm sure everybody else here today will tell you, yes, you have to join that one, so that it's more, you get the full blown picture of my manipulation technique. All right, let's see some work from people. Let's see from Zabi. All right. Um, nice. Good coordination there. Well done. Good. Okay, let's look at Tim. Nice. Very nice. Okay, good. Well, Main Saham tanya, Joe, since most of us still learning, do you mind if we open a WhatsApp among us for knowledge sharing and discussion? Boleh. I think that should not be a problem if there are enough. Yeah, I get it. Yes, participants lah. If there are enough requests, if people are really, really keen on having a WhatsApp group to talk about PowerPoint or design styles and all that, if you want to be in that group, let me know. Yeah. And well, I have not explored Telegram, to be honest, Yin, but I would love to. Okay, if everyone wants to open Telegram, then I have to learn. I have to learn how to pakai Telegram. Saya orang tua lah, tak suka pakai additional tools ni, but okay lah, can. Now, one of the benefits, let me tell you this. Now that I've thought about it, I think we should do this. Because one of the benefits of coming for my class, is that I get, as you know, I get a lot of slack from some of my clients, and they ask me to clean up. Although right now, I do have this small army of small number of minions, who I over the years I pick them up lah. Every time we have a physical class, when they're doing the exercises, I just walk behind them, see who's doing well, who's getting it fast and things like that, and I will actually handpick them, to be my minions. Where every time I get a document that has about 150 slides with a ridiculous 1 week turnaround, and I cannot do it alone, I will actually tai chi lah to all these people, to my team, where I give them like, okay, you take slide 1 to 20, you take 21 to 40. So, and I will pay them like 50 ringgit per slide, and they get to make like a couple of hundred, some even 1,000, whoever's free and all that. And everybody gets to monetize, because all I have to do is I do the first five slides, I do the color scheme, I do the design and things like that. And you all just adopt my colors and my font type, everything for all the other slides that you're doing. And then I collect back, I just do a bit of a cleanup, and then I send it to the client. So everybody gets to monetize by being my PowerPoint army lah. So I think this is a great opportunity for me to expand my team. So those who want to be part of that team, yes, I think it's a good excuse to set up that Telegram or WhatsApp group. What do you all think? Nak ke? You all want to make side income ke? Boleh saja. All right, let's work towards making that happening. So, and you're right, Janine, it's also good practice. Who doesn't love money lah? Anyway, it's good practice actually, because not only will you get to, exercise your knowledge, but at the same time, we get to, see other people's presentation and learn about their subject matters, learn about their industries and things like that, learn about their pain points. Is also a great way to expand our knowledge on subject matters itself, on top of exercising our PowerPoint punya approach. Okay, so great. But I make sure that, for sensitive stuff, of course we have to, I have to make you all sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, and things like that, okay? So if you have no problem signing contracts where you cannot reveal information, no problem lah. Okay, guys, let's go ahead with, and what is CPH? Azlin, CPH tu apa? Oh, Copenhagen. Aduh. God, yeah. Yes, that's nice. Wow, you're traveling. What time is it there, Tanya? Are you like tengah sahur or what? Oh my God, I'm so honored. Subuh. It's 5:25. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Thank you. I'm very humbled that it's in the middle of the night and you are attending a class. Okay. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next subject. We've got quite a bit more to cover. Okay, so we're stuck at background now. And, okay, let's go to typeface. See, even if you see typeface, I'm sure for those who attended my earlier class, you understand the difference between your serif, your sans serif, and your script and display and things like that. So the type of font families you use can also exert a certain form of character for your infographics or your subject matter. Like if you're talking about, about legacy, or you want to show a feeling of, official or heritage and things like that, of course, you will use your serif fonts. If you intend to push out a more modern feel, a more modern character, use your sans serif, right? You see like the you can see this is, I think this is Gotham, and I think this is Comforta, and this is Oswald, right? The moment you use very, very clean, modern sans serif style, of course, it will exert that kind of character to your message as well. Yeah, but if you want to make it friendly, you want to make it informal, you want to make it relaxed, you can also explore your script and display as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of, so you can tell, that if you mix it, right, if you want to talk about heritage, you want to talk about, official or legacy and things like that, but you use your script and display like this, confirm lari one, you see. So that's why you can see that don't mess around with fonts, yeah, because the right kind of fonts will definitely give the right kind of impact to your audience. The moment you mix them around, that's when things start to go haywire. But you can mix between your serif and your sans serif. But if your subject matter is about heritage or official or legacy and all that, use serif fonts for your title, yeah. Or if you want to show the modern part in your message, then of course use sans serif as your title, the main subject title. Okay. Is there any method to know or copy the font name, like the eyedropper? No, I don't. I don't know any methods like that. Sorry, tak ada. Okay, coming to shapes, the last one. So of course, again, once you know that everything can exert a certain character, you will know that, if you do perfect squares or perfect rectangles and sharp corners and things like that, it will also, what do you call that? It will also be solid or authoritative in character. The moment you slant like the one I showed just now, you do make it slanting, sing it a bit, then it denotes speed or movement or progressiveness. Yeah. If you use like shapes like circles, then with no sharp corners or things like that, of course, subconsciously we will have a very relaxed mood to it when we absorb that kind of information. Or if you use actual shapes, you want to be playful and things like that. Okay. Now, let's go to the next one, which is setting your design foundation. Okay. I want you all to know that, if you're not doing, sometimes infographics, you're not necessarily putting it for presentation. You're soon going to convert it into an image. You're going to post it on Instagram, or you're going to post it as a social media post, or even to embed it into a website or something. So the sizing of your design, has to be determined to suit the platform of which you're sharing it on. Okay. For instance, a perfect square will be ideal for Facebook and Instagram. So your slide size, your slide size, you know how to change your slide dimensions, right? Like the one I showed yesterday. You can customize it to make it vertical or to A4 or to perfect square. Make sure you preset your slide size so that it matches the platform that you're sharing your infographic on. If it's on laptop or on PowerPoint for presentations, that just stick to the normal slide size. But if you're creating something for mobile browsing, like a brochure or something like that, make sure that it roughly is vertical and it roughly takes up, the whole screen, whole screen. So you can go by 16 by 9, but vertical instead of 16 by 9 horizontal. And perfect squares will be very, very nice for, for your Instagrams and Facebooks of the world. So again, the dimensions by medium, please decide or please ascertain what platform will you be most sharing it on, okay? So that you can come up with the proper foundations in terms of your canvas, all right? Then we talk about content flow, When it comes to, if you're doing a timeline, naturally we follow our eyes' natural order, okay? It can be like, it can be like from left to right. It can be from bottom to top. Bottom to top in this case, I want to ask you all a very logical question, which I hope you all can give me an answer based on the logic, all right? If I was to show a historical timeline, I want to talk about Industrial Revolution number 1 to number 4, to the latest Industrial Revolution. Okay, Industrial Revolution number 1 should be at the bottom or at the top? Number 1. Correct. Yes, I think it should there is a mix. Is a mix. What do you call that? Feedback. Some people are saying from top. Some people are saying from bottom. Okay. Now it depends. Okay. Because if you expect people to read from bottom to top, then Industrial Revolution 1 will be at the bottom, and the current day is here. But there is no wrong. It is not wrong for you to switch this way, and immediately your Industrial Revolution number 1 starts here, and the latest one is here. It depends on where you want to guide your eyes. Yeah. So completely reverse it and it still works. Yeah. And naturally, you can also go from bottom left to top right. Also can, so that you have ample room to put your header, the big text here. You have a lot of room for that, and guide people's eyes to move from here. Yeah, as long as it's from left to right, you don't run too far across. But now, for content flow, that's it. But when it comes to processes, then of course you do your methodologies. If it's repetitive process, then you can do like a bit more of a creative movement like this, or you can even make a full circle. That is nothing wrong as long as you go back to the start, or you have your start and your end points. Okay. For statistics and descriptive, it can be a little bit more open game. Yeah. As long as you compartmentalize them cleanly, you use your sectional tools or you use your placeholders well, in terms of, sometimes even by separating by colors, that's what you mean by a sectional tool. It can already serve as a placeholder. Yeah. So you don't really have to create shapes. It's just using different colors to separate the content, and it does its job. Right. Now, I want to share with you placeholder designs. Yeah. Now, this is where my philosophy of manipulating PowerPoint will come into play. Yeah. So let's use this. I'm going to start off with layers. Layers, I think most of you would have gotten an introduction or a sneak or a preview of how this is done in my full class earlier. So I'm going to show you, step by step how it's done. So you have 4 shapes like this, and the curved rectangles. Now, the curved rectangles, right, you will have that yellow dot again. So that yellow dot is for you to customize. So what you can do is you can actually drag that yellow dot, right? Some of you have never touched this yellow dot before, not knowing what it is and don't want to know. So I want to let you know that it's actually for you to pull it so that it can become a pill design, right? It can look like a pill, okay? So I'm sure some of you tak pernah pegang that dot kuning tu kan. So this is what it's for lah. You want to make it a little bit more rounder at the corners, tarik benda tu. Takut tekan nanti meletup. Korang ni kelakar lah. Funny plus. But anyway, that's what it's for. And I like creating these pill shapes, yeah, because it's so dynamic in terms of use, yeah. So now, the moment you create these 4 shapes, right, I'm going to bring this to depan dulu, right. The first shape, let's put in a color. Maybe let's use this one. The second shape, let's create maybe this color maybe. All right. So let's put it together. Okay. One on top of the other. And centralize. Come on, come to the middle. All right, there you go. And this one is to be at the back, right? So we can besarkan sikit. Tarik. Right? And masukkan sikit, selit in between. All right? And let's choose the color of that light purple just now. This one. And this, we can actually masuk in between as well. Right? Besarkan sikit. And expand. Tarik a bit more. And let's make it maybe the same color of our circle, the front circle. Or if we don't want it to be the same color, we can even go to shape fill. Remember, we can go to more fill colors to choose a lighter tone from the same color scheme. So we can pull this up a bit, right? Like that. And we create one. Now, this circle, we can always go to shape effects. We give it a shadow to the right like that, right? And let's edit the shadow a bit to make the shadow a bit more bigger a bit. So you see the distance here under effects. You drop down shadow, you'll be able to customize your shadow effect a bit. Let's create a bit of distance lah, maybe like 8 like that. And then maybe making it a bit blur. right? Like that. Okay. Instantly, can you get a lighter tone after selecting from eyedropper? Of course you can. Like for instance, if I was to eyedrop this from a color, like maybe uh, this color or this color lah, right? This is an eyedropper, an eyedrop, okay? Or let me eyedrop now. Eyedrop from one of these color schemes here. Maybe this one. Okay. Dah eyedrop kan? Go to shape fill, go to more fill colors. There is, this is still the tones that you can get. Yeah, you can still drag the black arrow there so that you can choose a toning. Yeah. Now what you've created here is probably your first placeholder, all right? The first placeholder design, where you can just straight away copy this, right? You can copy this and paste it, right? Control V, and you can create it like that. And now what you do is change the color scheme to another color now. Let me try another color scheme, maybe this one. And outside is maybe yellow. And this one is retaining the same yellow. Okay. Now, so the moment you do 2 or 3 or 4 of this, then you can start talking about, you can start connecting them. And those of you who don't know how to connect them, right? Most of you kalau nak connect all these things kan, this is what you do, betul tak? You ada arrow, you connect the arrow, macam tu je lah. And then you gemukkan. Yeah, you do a weight, make it fat, alright? And that's it. Isn't this like how most of you connect one object to another? Betul ke? Guilty, yes, pak, alamak, terasa. Okay, I'm getting that. Alright, come. Let me show you guys an innovative way of how to manipulate PowerPoint punya function so that we can have a nicer connector. Okay, and it's not even a connector. Okay, yes, you hate the guilty connector. Mari kita buat ni, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Under shapes, alright, there is this block arrows. You see block arrows here? We can do this. Okay, besarkan like that. Okay, and kita terbalikkan macam ni, right? For instance, put this here and put this here, right? Now, again, you see a lot of these yellow dots. These yellow dots is for you to customize the width and the sizing, right? So we can shrink it like that, right? Like that. Okay, let's remove the outline, no outlines, and let's send this thing to the back, hantar belakang. Okay. Does that look like a connector? It looks like a connector, but the sizing is more tebal. It looks a lot nicer, and it gives a whole lot more freedom. And here's what we can do. Yeah, don't stop there. Once you use the arrow, orang tak nampak arrow tu. Pasal kita dah suruh dekat belakang. We already hide at the back, right? So this is another thing where we can make the connector look more fluid. Let's go to shape fill. Let's go to gradient. And let's choose a gradient theme first. Maybe like that lah. Okay. So that the moment we select a gradient theme, let's go to format shape. Under fill, you will have the gradient stops. Yeah. So remember all these pins, you can actually drop colors in there, change colors. So the first pin, let's remove the center pin because I only want 2 colors. Yeah. Pin tengah ni kita buang. So you only have 2 pins, right? The first pin, let's follow that blue, the blue from this, all right? The second pin, let's follow the yellow, right? And then let's drag the yellow a little bit more. And can you see the evolution of the color transiting? Oh, this one should not be blue. This one should be purple, the first one, right? Correct. The first one should be this purple, right? There. Do you see a really, really cool natural transition from one object to another? Kita yang buat ni tahu kita pakai arrow, tetapi orang yang nampak, people that see our infographics will not know what we use to connect these 2 things together. It's an arrow, it's a block arrow. Yeah? So that's how we manipulate the functions on PowerPoint. Remember, manipulate. I cannot say this word enough. Okay? It's like magic. It literally is. Yeah? Now can throw away the ugly thin arrow throw lah. Okay, so that's how you connect. So the moment you start connecting this and all that, you will start creating a really, really cool set of placeholders. You know, the circle can be your numbers or your icons, and the thing on the right for you to put your descriptions, right? If you want to create a variety, right, you can even do it this way. You can always some arrangements are like this. You can cut and paste, okay? This one goes here. You can shrink it a bit, right? And then you can probably take this one, you can cut and then paste, and then you completely make it the same size as your previous one, okay? Same size, okay? And then you can spin it around, turn it the other way, yeah? And then you arrange it this way, yeah? And that will give you a very nice vertical punya infographic format like that, yeah? The moment you put them together on top of each other consistently like this, it's going to look really cool. The moment you connect, then it's going to start come out really, really nice. Yeah. Konektor jalan raya, nanti ada saya tunjuk. Sebentar. Okay. Hang on to your horses. Now, the next technique that I want to share with you. Some of you may have seen this, some of you may not, which is to create a digital gauge design. Yeah, so just memang basically just use all the shapes that's available there and connect. Okay. Now, this one is for those who have not seen this, confirm tengah-tengah, siapa yang ada kerusi, please stabilize your kerusi because you might jatuh. Now, this is not a shape. What I'm going to show you is a pie chart. Okay? So any of you who have never thought about using a pie chart to use as an infographic element, get ready to be blown away. Now, I'm going to, this is the donut template pie chart, right? Okay, great. I'm going to delete the title and I'm going to delete the legend. So I only have this donut. Now, what I'm going to do is, this is more for statistics punya infographic, people, if you want to show percentage and things like that, okay? So for those who have not seen this, let me share this with you. I'm going to click into here. Yeah, I'm going to click into the shape itself and remove the outlines. No outline. Okay, so that the colors, I don't have this annoying white outline separating the slices. Now, I'm going to click on the border, okay, for me to edit the data. Now, what I'm going to do is, I am going to put 5% per slice times 20 slices so that it becomes 100, okay? Maths. Okay, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, and one more, 100. Okay, now I have 5% times 20 to make up 100%, right? Next thing that I'm going to do, when we have this donut pie chart, we can always do format data series. And remember how we increase and decrease the whole size dekat tengah ni? Now, I'm going to decrease it. Make it smaller a bit. All right? Maybe a bit smaller. Okay, like that. Okay? Some of you may be wondering, what sorcery is Joe doing now? Hang on. You'll see the end result. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to standardize all the colors. Remember how you select all? The moment you click into it, you can see all the the blue dots across all your slices. That indicates that you are selecting all. Now, I'm going to shape fill, and I'm going to make it really dark. Maybe like this. Okay? And then, in terms of outline, okay, let me put a bit of outline lah. Let's not get rid of it. But the outline color that I'm going to put is going to be the outline, is going to be the color of my background. In this case, the background you see there is slightly dark blue like that. So I'm going to eyedrop and take the background color. Yeah. And then I'm going to make it a bit fat. Yeah. Gemuk like that. Let's see if this works. Okay. Shape outline, weight. Okay. Like that. So you all see the outline already and things like that. It doesn't look like an outline. It looks as though the slices are separated a bit. It just gives you the illusion that it's separated. But in fact, the outline color is the same as the color of your background. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a text box and put maybe 65%. Okay. I'm going to put my text in white. I'm going to put my text in white. and I'm going to make it big, maybe size 88 ke. I'm going to put some funky Google font, like maybe Gotham Ultra, like that, right? And I'm going to put it right smack in the middle. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to color all these 5%, yeah, so that it becomes 65, for example. Let me choose a nice color, like red, like that. 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. The man will love this because it's like your digital meter and all that. It looks like a digital meter like that, where 65% out of 100 is lit up. Yeah. And don't stop there, because you can actually click on this again, right? And you can actually go to shape effects, go to shadow, and create a little bit of an inner shadow. Yeah, not outer shadow, inner shadow. So that there'll be a shadow inside your slices. Yeah, and inside the slices, the shadow here, you can increase the distance so that it becomes more prominent, like that. And you can blur it out to make it a little bit more faded, like that, right? And suddenly, you have a digital meter that you can put as an element to your infographics. But don't stop there, because imagine creating a set of this. Yeah, let me just shrink this down a bit. Yeah, shrink this down, and this text maybe let's put it a bit smaller lah, not so big lah. Maybe 54. Okay, like that. Yeah. Imagine having a set of this, and your descriptions next to it describe what it's for and all that. But you know what's the great outcome of this thing is that the moment you do this, is that if you combine animated GIFs, yeah, let's look for. Let's give you an example. Would you imagine that this actually can be done on PowerPoint, where you're showing percentages, you're showing data, but you also have the movements of animated GIFs inside your lubang there, like the bars moving, the globe and all that. I'm sure none of you have ever thought that something like this can be done on PowerPoint. Yeah. So that's another idea. Immediately it looks super, super cool. Yeah. And how do you find the kind of GIFs? You can even find GIFs yang tak ada makna, just to dress it up at the sides here, all this moving stuff. Do you know what kind of GIFs to look for? Come, let me show you. Now, can we get a sample? All right, I'm going to show you how. You can go to Google, search for maybe error animated GIF, right? If you search for error animated GIFs, you probably get this kind of stuff, yeah, where, let's see, which ones can I use? Things like that. Wait, let's see if there's anything else. Actually, this is a nice one, yeah, where it's just shaky and things like that. Or what else? Can look for those in the middle. You can search for this word, digital sphere, SPHERE, animated GIF, right? Okay, so there's a lot of this that you can take, yeah, okay, things like that. Or even, let's see if this one is nice, yeah, it's moving. Or even, let's look for an even nicer one. Maybe, this one? No, not nice. Okay, this one. No, not nice. No, not nice. Oh, too nice. Okay, maybe this one. You can copy this, yeah, put it inside your digital meter, the one that you did earlier, this one, okay, like that. Okay, I'm going to have to change the background to black, okay, so that when I paste this, when I paste the GIF, and I send it to back, right, make sure it fits into the circle, like that. That's the kind of effect that you're able to create. You see that? That's how easy it is to create movements or things like that. yeah, is just combining the animated GIF together as behind so that we can. No, you cannot remove the GIF background. So whatever GIFs that you use, yeah, has to have your background of your slide color has to be the same as your GIF in your background. So the safest bet is to go black, yeah, because there's a lot of this kind of really cool moving animated GIFs that come with a black background because you cannot remove the background. So the best solution is to apply the same apply black lah, so that it doesn't lari. It makes your work a whole lot easier. And if you want those moving bars, you can always look for let's look for music equalizer, right? Equalizer animated GIF. Animated GIF. Okay, so you get this kind of movements. Okay, like let's choose one, right? Like this one. Yeah, the moment you have something like this, let's copy it. Right, copy, put it into your slide. Right, let's remove this outer one first. Wait, how do I get out? Okay, delete. Okay, now paste. Oh, besarnya equalizer ni. Raja gila. Wait, hang on. Smaller, right? Put it inside. Shrink it a bit. You want to make it slimmer, can, no problem. Make it bigger. Send this to the back so that it goes behind. And that, right? And you create that kind of effect, yeah, which is unthinkable on PowerPoint, yeah. Wait, other questions? How you have on the side? Okay. Can we add animation using 2 donut pie charts to have a 0 to 65 effect? 0 to 65. That means you want main saham macam mana? You want it to come out one by one, ke? You want the columns to come out one by one? Shafi, if your GIF is not moving, try go into full screen presentation mode. It should move. Yeah. Yes, you can actually create the pie chart to come out one by one. That means if you select the pie, okay, select this, and what you can do is you can go to animation. Yeah, you can go to animation and select wheel. Okay, you can select wheel like that. It can come out like that. Okay, that is if it's one by one lah. Yeah, I mean in totality it will come out like that. You can set it, the duration you can set it to maybe 75 or whatever, and when you want to introduce it, it comes out like that. Yeah, that's one. Another way is you can also, let me undo the animation, right? Let me undo none. Now I can also make it come out. I can fade it like that. 25, but effect options, under effect options, I can go by series or by category. Yeah, so that it comes out like that. Yeah, so you click into each slice, you click into the slices and then you program it. So how it looks now is that it comes out like that. Yeah. Yeah, so that's another way of doing it. You can animate for it to come out one by one. So imagine you do one set, right? It's going to look really cool. Okay? So nobody has ever thought of using a pie chart or a donut to create a dashboard, a digital dashboard looking thing like this. Yeah? So try it and I'm sure you all will be able to Lucky you're still standing. You're able to come up something like this. In fact, the earlier technique that I shared earlier, remember the placeholder, the layers that I just shared with you, the technique, right? Of course it will work, Shafi. If you send it to other people, the GIF will still be moving. Of course it will, yeah? Now, combine the layer technique earlier and the gauges technique, you can actually start doing things like this, right? So this is where we continue to combine all our techniques to come up with really nice looking infographics, okay? No, you cannot crop the GIF image, Ashley. So the limitations on animated GIFs, for those who have never been to my earlier class, the full class, you cannot animate and you cannot remove background. Yeah, it's manipulation. It's take it or leave it lah for animated GIF. So you really cannot remove the background. You cannot crop. So you really have to take it as it is and then try to manipulate your way around it. Yeah. Now the next technique that I want to share with you is steps. Yeah, you want to create like a staircase so that you can house your data in a staircase manner, right? Have you ever thought of doing some that you can create a staircase just by using copyright? Well, if you're afraid of people GP, no, GP not really. The moment you upload your GIFs into GP, it becomes free to use. But if certain GIFs may have copyright issues, yeah, but if you want, always give accreditation at the very bottom. GIF for this, credit to blah blah. You put the text at point size 7 or size 6, so that it becomes a blind spot to people. But if the owner of the GIF comes and say, "Hey, you took my GIF," then you can argue back. There, I give you credit, ma, down there. You use your binoculars and see, confirm and see one. All right. So yeah, that's the only way to go about it if you're afraid of somebody suing you for using a GIF that doesn't belong to you. Okay. But more often than not, I don't bother lah. All right. Yeah, give credit. But anyway, coming back to this is another way of manipulating a function, a tool on PowerPoint, a shape on PowerPoint. Imagine doing this. I'm sure you know where this shape comes from, right? Remember, you can use this, right? And then you can stretch it, yeah, angle it a bit, and you're able to come up with this exact shape. Now, what I'm going to do is this, yeah, and I'm sure you all have never thought using this to create a staircase. What do I mean by creating a staircase using this? Let me Control C and Control V. I'm going to terbalikkan this thing. Go in the reverse direction. Remember, it's like this. But now I'm taking the top, I'm reversing it, and I'm going to wait for the smart guide to tell me that the size is the same. There you go. So this is indicating the size sudah sama. All right. Now, I'm going to shape fill, more fill colors, and I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Yeah, one tone darker, like that. All right. And then I'm going to Control C, Control V. And then I'm going to Control C, Control V. Now, do you see a staircase? Anybody? Does anybody see a staircase? Nampak tangga tak? Any replies? Siapa nampak tangga? Wah, so terror. You're seeing a Mitsubishi logo? Not yet. Okay, for those yang belum nampak tangga, okay, this is how easy it is to create a tangga. Okay, I'm going to show you very quickly because later you will see one. Like that. There you go. Like this. Okay, delete this because we already did the shape. And there you go. Right? And you can copy all this already. Cut. Paste. Shrink it. Paste as picture again. Shrink it to the same size. And you are creating a staircase for your infographics. There you go. Terus jadi 3D. And the thing that you can do out of this, just by combining that, yeah. Check this out. Okay? That's another option for an infographic design, to do this kind of steps. Yeah, it's just a matter of using that slanting rectangle and then reversing it and giving it an angle so that you're able to create this kind of staircase design for an infographic. Yeah, so I'm sure some of you have not thought of using it that way already. Yeah, you've never thought of doing this before, but it's just as easy as changing the direction and all that, and you're able to connect them, and that's it. You have one more idea for a infographic placeholder. Yeah. Now the next one that I want to share are hexagons, right? Hexagons, of course, that is a ready-made shape on PowerPoint, but the moment you combine them, right, you can Control C, Control V, put it next to each other, This is the beauty of hexagons, that they all just fit like tiles, you know. So the moment you start arranging it like this, right, and you put it around now, you combine, and you're able to create this kind of layout. Yeah, so I don't think I need to do step by step in terms of how to arrange this, because I'm sure you all will know how to arrange it like that, right? So the moment you do this, let's eye drop certain colors using the pastel tones that we get from Google lah. So I'm going to shape fill, eyedropper, take this, shape fill, eyedropper, and take this, and then just repeat that steps, right? You will see another cool looking, hey, hello. You will see another cool looking design that you can use for your placeholders very soon. Like this, all right, like this, shape fill, eyedropper, like that. And last one, shape fill, eyedropper, and like this, right? So this is a cool start already. Say bye-bye to boring hexagon. Okay, now, the next thing I'm going to do, imagine you have an icon that you want to put in there. Let's go and grab an icon from one of my previous slides. Let's get this guy here. All right, copy. Let's bring him back to the hexagon. Where are you, hexagons? There you go. Belum. Bukan. Ini. Bukan. Ini. Bukan. Ini. All right. Now, I'm going to put it here. Okay, like that. Some of you may straight away put your icons inside the hexagon, and then you put in your description under it, correct? Most of you will do that. But here's how we can manipulate PowerPoint even more. Let's put in another shape. For instance, this one. Yeah. So we can put this shape, put it on top, right? Slightly outside if you can, like that. Let's make it a little bit more slanting, and make sure it's the same color as your background. So in this case, it's white. Yeah. Can you see that suddenly your hexagon tiba-tiba nampak macam kena potong? It looks like it got cropped. Yeah. So this is where you can actually bring your icon and place it there. Yeah. So it starts to look even cooler. Then you can put your description here. And how does that look overall, right? Like that, like that, like that. And some of you may not have imagined that this kind of templates or this kind of look can actually be done on PowerPoint itself. But in fact, I already showed you how we can do step by step, and actually create something like this. Yeah. So this is already a very nice infographic element or infographic template that you can start using, especially if you have like methodology or sub products or things like that. You can definitely use this template as an example. Okay. Now another one, you can even do if you want to fill it up, add a little bit more elements, a background, another larger hexagon to put your description on the right, the title and everything. It's going to start to look really, really nice. Yeah. So, okay. Right. Just look for hexagon, wallpaper, black, or you'll find this kind of cool looking hexagons. That's it. Yeah. Your slides are going to look really, really awesome already. In fact, don't stop there, because we can make something else. Here's how we can manipulate the hexagon shape even more. Font apa yang mana? Yang ni. Wait, let me go to the previous slide. This one is using Gotham. Yeah, it's a Google font. Yeah, or Ideation. Mana Ideation? Yang ni. Yeah, this font is actually Gotham. Yeah. All right. So here's another thing. What if you want to create the hexagon shape, but you want it to be in a circle format? So you all know the shape tadi kan, the basic shape yang you buat your icons tadi tu. What if we take this, right, and put it on top of our hexagon design tadi, right? Okay, on top of our hexagon design tadi. Now, I'm going to cut this. Okay, select all of it. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to paste it as a picture, all right? Enlarge it sikit. Now, I'm going to use our remove background function, okay? Because this is an image, I'm going to remove background. Now, let me tell you what I want to keep and what I want to remove. I want to keep the inside here. This one, this one, this one, this one dah, this one. Right, masuk lagi. Come on. Come on. Yeah, this will take a little bit more time, but eventually it will work. All right, let's go. All right, like that, like that. Same thing goes for here. Okay. And why don't we remove the circle first? Let's remove the circle. All right. Let's remove this. You will see the method to my madness very, very soon. What this does, the moment you manage to remove all this and keep only the inner part. All right. I'm going to mark areas to keep now. Let's keep these inner sections. Keep it. Keep this. All right. Keep this. PowerPoint ni kadang-kadang dia degil sikit. They refuse to accept everything that I want. Yeah? But never mind. That's our job to emphasize on what we want to keep. Right? Lagi. Come on. Lagi. Lagi. So the moment you select all this, right? Soon you will see what it will look like. Okay? Now, once you manage to select that, okay, that's a bit of work, right? Banyak kerja tu. But the moment you keep changes, you create a ball, right? Just by putting that circle just now to help for you to help PowerPoint in separating between the outer parts of the hexagon and the inner part. So suddenly you have like a football shape, right? Bola sepak, exactly, right? And what can you do with a bola sepak? See this kind of look. It actually it can actually look really, really nice the moment you apply, all these other techniques. Now you may think, a lot of you yang tengok the screen now, okay? How many of you see that the numbers are hollow? Dia macam nombor-nombor tu berlubang, right? You all see that, yeah? It looks as though the holes are numbered, right? The numbers are berlubang, right? But I'm going to show you that it's your optical illusion. It's your eyes playing tricks on you. And let me explain why your eyes are playing tricks on you. If I was to insert a number, okay, let me insert text. I'm going to put number 6. I'm going to change the font size to maybe 150 lah. Let's make it besar-besar. 150. I'm going to change it to Gotham Ultra. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is, let me change this color, the color of my text, right? I'm going to change it to be exactly the color of my background. Okay. In the color of my background. So in this case, I'm going to text eyedropper and choose this yellow, right? And then I'm going to, do this. I'm going to format shape. I'm going to go text options, yeah? And I'm going to create a shadow, inner shadow, yeah? And then I'm going to make it a bit bigger, like that, and put it into my slide. You see that? That's the kind of effect that you are able to create, okay? So that tak nampak macam the number. Yes, got hole and shadow and all that. So this is what we call negative space, all right? So people don't see the actual outline, but the use of shadow, just the use of shadow alone will give people an idea that that is the 6, yeah? There's no outlines, you can't see it, but you're just using the elements of the shadow to give an idea of that is a number 6, yeah? So it's basically just the color of the number and the color of the background is the same, yeah? So that's it, okay? So it's not hollow at all, right? Now, the next thing that I want to share with you is a technique called monochromic, yeah? So mono is another technique where, some of you may do, a lot of you think that, having a high contrast is really, really necessary. I beg to differ, yeah? Because in some cases, when you have colors like this, where dia punya contrast dia tak tinggi, yeah? It's just two levels of grey, right? That's it. But the moment I apply shadow and the moment I create my background color, the background color of my slide, to be the same color as my circles, Yeah, you get the concept now. The color of my slide is going to be the same color of my circles, and then I apply shadow into my circles. Do you see the effect that it does? It looks as though macam we took a blade and we cut our paper sikit. Yeah, we cut one side of our a few sides of our paper to become like fish punya scale. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be in high contrast, but the fact that you apply shadow like that to create that cutting effect, yeah, and it can even look good already. Yeah, so it doesn't really have to be very very high contrast at all. If you really like the plain, simple, monochrome kind of look, this can also be one of it, right? Now, you can also create inner shadows like I showed you just now with the number. You can create inner shadow so that the moment you apply inner shadows on your shapes, you can come up with this kind of designs. Yeah. Okay. But I'm sure some of you will having this question in your head. How do you twist? How do you make your text box go into a circle like that? Anybody has this question? How do you make your text become half a circle, a full circle? Do you want to know how to create that circle using your text? Okay, great. So for those who don't know, come. Let me share with you how to curve your text, okay? Right. Let's do this very, very quickly. Now, I'm going to change this color, the color of the circle here that you see, right? I'm going to besarkan dulu. Membesarkan dulu. Alright. Now, and then I'm going to color this shape with the same color as my background. So sekarang tak nampak, but tak apa. I'm going to use my inner shadow to create the effect again. Okay, like that. Alright. Okay lah, maybe one tone darker lah. Okay. Now, I want this text, I want it to curve inside my circle. For you to curve your text, highlight all of it first. Okay. Highlight all of it. Then go to format. Alright. Go to format, the format tab. After you highlight, go to the format tab. Go to text effects here. And then use the bottom option, which is a transform. Okay. So you have these options here, like that, full circle or whatever, right? And what you can do now is I'm going to select this full circle thing. Now, I just turn the whole thing into the size of my circle yang ada kat belakang ni. Alright. So I'm going to adjust it so that it becomes the size of my circle. Right? Like that. Okay. And then bring it in a bit. Then you can see that it's starting to take shape. Right? Like that. So that's how you do it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. So that is basically how you bend your text so that you can create circles like this. Okay. If you need a repeat, sekejap lagi, never mind. When it's time to do the final exercise, I will show you how to do it again. Okay. But now I just want you to know that you can actually bend your text so that it comes out really, really cool looking like this. Okay. And you can create another row of text, another row of text, so much so that it becomes a simple design like this, right? Okay. Now, if you look at the inner text, right, it looks like an embossed thing, like macam you pakai stamp tu. Now, how did I do that? Yeah. Again, it's the same thing. The color of my text is the same color as my background. Tetapi I'm using the shadows to actually make it pop up. Yeah. So that's another idea for you guys. Okay. If you want it to have a very flat look like this, embossed punya look. Okay. The next technique that I want to share with you is path. Right? Okay. Can any of you guess what I'm going to do here? Can any of you guess? Okay. I'm going to first draw I'm going to show you lah, basically. I'm going to reveal straight. I'm going to draw a jalan. Okay. So shape fill, black. And then I'm going to draw a line. Right? This line, I'm going to draw across. Okay. Like that. Change the line, make it tebal sikit. Right? Change it to yellow. And give it a little bit of dashes so that dia nampak macam jalan. And now we have a street. Okay. What we can do next is, remember the block arrows that we use as connectors, right? Now we can do the same thing and to do selekoh jalan raya, right? So let's change it to black, right? And we can cut this, copy or cut and paste it as a picture, and we crop off the hujung arrow to crop it out. So now we can start making roads. Yeah. So imagine having variations of it. Control C, Control V, kita terbalikkan, right? Turn it around like that and do things like this. And now we're starting to make jalan-jalan, just by using the basic block arrows and all that. And we are slowly making roads. And we can go to back to Google, find a car vector PNG. Find a car top view. All right, let's find it. Okay, so we have a sample of a car here. Let's take it. Alah, ada background, tak best. Ni. Ada background, tak apa. Kita copy je. Kita masukkan. Let's put it in. Control V. Right. Remove background. Okay, everything selected. Keep changes so that we can shrink it and turn it around so that you have quite a design right there. And I won't have to show all the way, but I just have to show you the finished product. Imagine going to Google looking for house vector top view, trees vector top view, yeah, roundabout vector top view. You can actually create a really, really nice infographic design just by making those shapes and putting them together. Yeah. Anybody have ever thought of doing a map, just by using shapes? This is your idea of how to do it. Memang there's a lot of playing and manipulation techniques just by using the basic shapes of PowerPoint to achieve this kind of look. Yeah. The next one that I want to share with you guys is tubes. See, you can see now that I'm sharing a lot of techniques, yeah, because these are the ones that I regularly use. So these are two shapes that's also readily available in PowerPoint, right? Where this shape is, where is it? It's right here, yeah, there. Just tarik a bit, and then you turn it around, and you basically have an outer layer, an outer film. Inside here is your cylinder. Cylinder pun another basic shape that's there. Where is it? There you go. Under flowchart, you have the cylinder shape. You can tarik, pusing, and baring, right? And that's it. But what you can do is, this one, you color differently. Yeah, you color like that. Make sure there's no outline. Yeah. This one, maybe you might want to color something a little bit different, maybe like that. And you can put it actually on top of each other. Yeah. So you're starting to create cylinder shapes. And you can copy this, paste it as an image, and it becomes like that, right? Now you can size it to whatever size you want. You can turn it around. Yeah. And then you can, you can also, let me remove this for distraction's sake, to get rid of distraction. You can do this. Control C, Control V. Yeah. Control C, Control V. And suddenly you have, cylinder blocks that are on top of each other, and you can actually eventually do a design like this, right? So you just play around, preset the colors first for each shape and all that, and then you paste them as pictures, you put them on top of each other, put a little bit of shadow, and you can actually come up with a simple infographic like that, yeah? But using the cylinder shapes as your placeholders for your percentage or whatever not, right? So last but not least, random. These are all PowerPoint shapes. Your hexagon, you tarik sikit, and then this kind of rectangles, tarik sikit. These are all basic shapes. They don't make sense. But the moment you put them together, yeah, one on top of each other like that, you can see this one is like that. Bring to front, send to back, bring to front, send to back, and populate them and make sure they're all part of within one big background like this. You make sure they all fit into one background. It might not make sense now, but the moment you put in your content, that's another. It becomes a sectional tool. Yeah. Those shapes will become the houses to put all your content, your graphics or your text and all that. So they become, compartments for you, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do here. I've just showed you probably about 5 or 6 different styles of how to manipulate the PowerPoint functions to create all these placeholders for your infographics. Now, I'm going to ask you all to open exercise 3, although I know some of you dah buka, right? So open up exercise 3. There's a lot of those, there's all these techniques that I shared earlier, from the tube, from the road, from the path. Everything is there. I want you guys to try things out that may be relevant to you. Now, of all the techniques that I've shared, which one, can I get your feedback? Which one do you think is more suitable for the stuff that you do? For your subject matters, for your industry, for the types of infographic that you have to push out between the staircase and the gauge and all that, which one do you think you'll be using the most? All. Sure, not all. Okay, monotone, I see. Circles and curve, all right. How many more? What? Semua, Okay, interesting. Random one, yes, I agree. Random one is quite, used quite a lot. Depend on the content, the purpose. You're right, Jenny. Okay, guys, I don't want to talk too much because I think I talked for almost half an hour non-stop. Dah tak cukup suara. So I'm going to leave you guys to explore, the third exercise. Try and play around with it. If any of you need any specific demos again, that is what I'm here for. So just ask me and I will try to attend to each and every one of your inquiries. Ya. Tadi ada macam saya nak buat those dotted line lebih cantik. Dotted line yang mana tu? Icons, icons. I normally just go to Google straight because Google they are the best aggregator for all the icon websites or whatever. So I just use Google. But if anybody else has any source for specific for icons, you can always share with the rest of us. Yeah, the circle and box and curve boxes. Okay, I missed the shadow too. Can you show how? Okay, circles and curve boxes. Yang mana circle and curve boxes is yang ni ke? Bukan. Yang ini. This one. Dalam exercise 3. Kejap. Let me open exercise 3 to see which one are you talking about. This one. Okay. So this one, if you want to know again, is just, okay, one is this color. This one kita letak dekat atas. The smaller circle, we bring it to front. Okay. We can put another color, maybe dark grey ke, for example. Okay. This one, the curves, make sure we take the yellow dot and we tarik first. Alright. And then we masuk tengah-tengah. Okay. And change the colors again. This one we bring it to front. Bring to front. Kita letak color, maybe color putih ke? Color putih. Alright, let's shrink it a bit. So, kita tarik sikit lagi. And yang ni, yang circle kecil ni, we bring to the front. So that's your example of a first placeholder design yang you boleh pakai. Area ni you letak text, area ni you letak your icons or your numbers. You nak create shadow, you can always go to format shape, right? Go to the shadow and create the shadow angle to be to the right. Kita naikkan distance sikit, make it a bit more prominent. Kita blurkan dia sikit and you are able to create that design, Okay, so try that one. Okay. The shadow connected. Shadow connector. Okay. Nak connector pun boleh. Let me show that again. Right. Control C, Control V. Okay, now this is let's put this down here. This one, let's put it up here. Okay, and now you want to connect. So kita ambil the arrow. Okay, block arrow. Alright. Kita turunkan. balikkan dan turunkan. This one we put like that. Tarik sikit. Yeah. And then what we do is kita buang dia punya outline. Shape fill, we use gradient. So gradient, kita ambil dari kiri macam tu. Yeah. The moment kita select gradient, kalau panel kita belah kanan ni tutup, if it's closed, we just format shape, open, we have our gradient stocks here. Kita buang satu because we only need two colors. Yeah. Let's get rid of the middle punya pin. We can just remove the gradient. The first one, kita ambil color brown. The second one, the second pin ni, kita ambil color, wait, we change this one first. Sorry, I forgot. Kita akan ambil color merah ni. Okay, this one pun merah. Okay, kita nak tukar ke merah. Then for this pin, kita pakai color merah. Right? And then kita boleh send this arrow to the back so that it become paling belakang. And nak bagi merah dia lagi prominent, kita tarik merah punya pin. Ya, macam tu. So that's how you connect those two boxes together. Okay, Azura? Alright. Free template placeholders. I'm sure most of you know that on out there in the market, there are people, okay, buy your free templates, free PowerPoint templates, 50 templates for 30 ringgit and things like that. There are so many of those out there. You can. There's no harm in buying preset templates because that's a really good and fast and effective way of, producing stuff. Cuma, what I want to tell you is this. Being able to create infographics from scratch is a skill set that you can have. Yeah. So that the next time, the moment you want to move to another company or you want to get a new job, you're looking for a pay rise and things like that, you see your new potential employer, you tengah in an interview, the moment your employer asks you, so what additional skill sets do you have that you can bring to this company? Now, this is where you can either tell them, oh, I can actually make infographics and I'm good at converting data and making infographics just by using PowerPoint. You can say that, or you can say, oh, I know how to buy templates, PowerPoint templates. Up to you, whether you want to have that extra skill set or you just want the easy way out. I want everybody to learn this skill. Yeah, it is an additional skill set. So I hope, yes, there is a faster way out, but you will not learn anything. Yeah, great. Okay, guys, go and try it out. Take a time for a break as well. So this will require a bit more time. So let's take the next 15 minutes to try all whatever techniques that you think would be most relevant to you. So now it's 12:30. We will touch base again at 12:45 and round things up. Betul, main saham. I am looking for minions, nak cari downline that I can tai chi my work to. Okay, go. Have fun. I'm going to take a quick break. Tak cukup air ni. Tak ada cert. Siapa nak personal request, email me. Then I will try to attend to it. Tengok mood because memang there's no cert except for my corporate classes. But anybody that ada special case, you need a cert because you want to show to employers ke apa ke, just let me know. Then I will try to arrange sending you a copy. One more thing, everybody, because now take this opportunity also, this exercise period for some of you who want to wait. I'll just get straight to the point now. Actually, kan, before we end today's session, I would love for us to take a group picture together, yeah, so that I can finally see everybody's faces. Semua orang tengok muka saya saja, you know. So I would love to see how everybody looks like, you know. So whoever is not dressed, you know, you might probably wanna, you know, put something on, okay. And we're gonna have a group picture, and if you wanna be famous to 27,000 of my followers, all right. I suggest you uh, make yourself presentable. We're gonna have a group photo session lah, because most of you all today you know, complete graduates. You have gone the first one, you have gone for this one, so that makes you completely on the upper echelons of PowerPointers, right, out there in Malaysia and in Copenhagen. Okay, so we're gonna take a group picture, yeah. So later, okay, cool. Okay, for you to choose a dimension for FB and IG, as long as it's a perfect square, Tanya. So what you do is, if you're specifically creating something, a visual or infographic for Facebook, for Instagram, when you have a blank document, right, and you're about to apply your design, lah, yeah, just go to design. Okay, you go to your slide size and go and custom your slide size down here, yeah. Custom your slide size so that you can basically apply the same height and width. Yeah, so we go 30 width and then 30 height. Yeah, 30 height, right? Like that. And then you ensure fit so that your entire slide size, okay, is a perfect square. Now you can start applying your design. Yeah, as long as it's a perfect square, it's fine. Yeah. Or if you want, or in case the next time you want, slide size, if you want 4x3, 4x3, you can ensure fit, okay, but you can also, custom slide size, go to 4x3, where's the 4x3, but you also choose portrait. This is another acceptable dimension for IG and Facebook, yeah. So portrait 4x3, so it becomes like this, yeah, like that. Yeah, so that's how you set your slide size aspect ratio 1:1. Yes, that's for the perfect square. Yeah, you just save it as depends. You want to save it. What you can do is, if you want to save it as a picture, right? I would recommend that you go home and you create a what do you call that? A shape and put it end to end so that becomes your canvas. Yeah, that becomes your canvas. So you remove the outline and change this to white. Yeah, so that when you save it as a picture, this becomes your background. Yeah, because if not, if you don't put this shape on top of your slide, and later on when you want to save it, right, you select all and then you save as picture, you will only be saving your content. You will not be saving the slide itself. So what I recommend is just create a big shape like this to serve as your background. And then after that, then you select everything and you right click and you save as picture, and it will become a picture that is based on that size lah. Okay. Good question, Juliana. The moment we modify, right? We modify icons and we combine with other people's icons and things like that and make it our own. No, then it becomes it becomes our own lah. Guys, let me share you a very very naughty trick. Yeah, please don't share this anyone, especially with anyone, especially when it comes to the copyright stuff and things like that. Yeah, the reason why people are these people are able to detect that you are using their images or not, yeah, is through the alternate text, is through the text that is embedded into their files, yeah. So people are able to trace based on the hidden code behind that they embed inside these images. So what I would recommend for you to escape that, yeah, escape that, this is what you do, yeah, to remove all the whatever tagging that they made earlier, is that the moment you find an icon, smartphone icon PNG, right? Okay. Now this is how they detect the files, yeah. Wait, smartphone icon PNG. Okay. Like this, yeah. So when you save it, right? If you want to save it into your desktop, right? Okay, they will see all this, the file name and whatnot, and the hidden text and the hidden codes behind it, right? Now, although you can do that, you can save that, right? Save and rename. Rename is one thing. The codes will still be there, okay? So what I recommend is this. You can copy the image, right? Okay, paste it into your PowerPoint, okay? Paste it into your PowerPoint like that. Now, the moment once you do your modifications or you take in another icon like Wi-Fi icon, PNG and things like that, right? Okay, let me show you how it's done. Let's take this one, for example. Okay, I'm copy this and putting it here, right? And this. Okay, what you should do, right, to remove all the scripts, the hidden scripts and all that, is that you cut it, don't copy, cut it and paste it as a new picture. Because the moment you paste it as a picture or as a brand new picture and things like that, all the others, the scripts go away. Yeah, because it is now a unique picture that you've just created on your own. Right. So that's another way to go about removing all these alternate text and hidden scripts behind images. Okay, so you might want to try that, Juliana. Very naughty, yeah. Oh, Tanya, a wireframe is basically a terminology that is most often used by web developers. So web developers, right, is like pretty much before they even begin to draw to design a website, they will actually design a wireframe. A wireframe is basically outlines of sections that they are going to include inside their web design. For example, they will do things like this. Yeah, let me show you. Okay, for a website designer, for example, imagine this is let me delete this first. Imagine this is a web page, right? The entire length of the web page. So they will draw like things like this, and then they will create another circle, and then they will draw an image like this. Yeah. So this will be like that, and then control paste, and then they will create another box to indicate that another section is here, right? So this entire skeletal drawing, yeah, to highlight all the different compartments of content that they are going to put in. This is basically what people call a wireframe. Yeah, so that's basically what a wireframe is. Yes, like a margin segments. Correct. Exactly. Can any web designers in the house can you vouch for what I just explained? Is that correct? Oh, tak ada web designer here. Okay, tak apa. Super wireframe, yes. Oh, correct. You have to use these terminologies lah. It makes us sound more intelligent also. Okay, guys, take 5 more minutes and then we'll do our closing ceremony for today. Correct. They want to code the UI and the UX and all that, then they will use the and especially the UI like the interface, they will be based on the wireframe. Correct. Okay, 2 more minutes. Okay, the last few demos that I can share for today before uh, we end the day. The first one is the embossing technique for the words. Okay, for example, embossing technique. Let me show this to you now. If I was to choose a background color, let me besarkan a bit. Okay, if I was to choose a background color like maybe this, okay, and then I want to create. Oh, let me choose something brighter a bit lah, not too dark. Right, like that. Okay, I want to show the emboss type of look. I can go to a text box. Let me create a text first. Embossed. All right. So I'm going to choose a font size like let's read something like 60. Let's choose something fat lah, something gemuk like maybe Gotham black. Okay, make it tight. All right. Now, if I want to emboss it, right? let's make sure the color of my text is the same as my background. So I cannot see it yet. Now I'm going to create a shadow. Yeah. Okay. Shadow. Okay. Now, when I put in a shadow, there you go. You start seeing the embossed effect already. If you want to make the embossed effect look a whole lot more prominent, right? You can actually reduce the transparency of your shadow. Yeah. Reduce the transparency of your shadow so that it becomes a lot sharper, like that. Do you see the effect? Wen Cheng?
Yep.
All right, cool. Okay, donut chart, Zabi, 27%. Okay, if you want to make it like in single digits instead of 5%, then you have the painful task of instead of doing 5% slices, you have to do 1% slices times 100. Zabi, faham tak? You have to make it really, really, kena buat 100 slice lah. Ya, 1%, 1%, 1% sampai
Okay.
Sampai you dapat 100 and then you color 27. Okay. It's a bit of work, but you definitely will be able to do it lah. Cuma nak tak nak je lah after that.
But I trying to macam visualize it, macam your picture just now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already 5%, so already got 25. But the last one maybe like macam partial. So macam mana yang the previous one kita dah group 555, tapi the last one je yang macam maybe just partial of it. So still kena buat 1%.
Yes, still kena buat 1% and then you remove dia punya outlines.
Okay.
So that they look connected.
Okay, faham?
Alright. Well, Supasan, I know you did some animations. If you can't share here, then it's okay. You can always share it with me. I would love to see it. You can always email me after class. I think would love to see what you did as an outcome. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Let's round this up. Let's have our closing ceremony. I mean, we can't be hanging around all day. Everybody needs to go for lunch as well, including myself. Okay. Let's do a quick recap. A very simple recap, everybody. If you have your eyes on screen, remember, right? You have to define your audience, okay? Because different audiences have different levels of understanding to your subject. So if it's going to be to the general public, there are quite a few things that you might have to spell out, things that are not a general knowledge, then you really have to spell out, okay? Versus somebody, if you're talking to your industry mates, then yes, you can use your abbreviations and things like that. Also know your objective. Remember, whether it's to inform, whether it's to raise awareness, whether it's to get an action out of your viewers and things like that, for them to click or to purchase. So it has a different, there's a different application to it. The topic will always influence the format. Remember, within the same subject, like for instance, within the COVID subject itself, in terms of, it can go into a statistic, it can go into a descriptive, so that will also influence the overall format. Okay, checklist of assets. Remember how difficult it is for us to just simply slot in additional data or what, just because we have already created the entire framing and the entire placeholders and all that. So make sure we set a deadline for whoever is providing us with all the data to stick to that deadline before we proceed with our work, right? Fact check goes without saying. Set a tone and feel. Remember that, every shape or everything that we put into our PowerPoint, into our infographics, will generate some sort of tone and feel to it. Yeah, setting design foundation from the size of our canvas, and the order of which we expect people to travel in terms of their viewing. Yeah, that will also influence the effectiveness of our infographics. And finally, with the technique of manipulating the existing shapes and functions and effects that there are on PowerPoint, I'm more than sure that we are able to have some ideas come out of us, over a period of time. Of course, we definitely need to practice, but at the end of the day, I'm sure the ideas will come out and we are all going to be much, much better PowerPointers after this. Okay, Imran is asking a final question. How do we align the font sizes if some texts are longer than the others and can't fit properly? Okay, Imran, I would recommend, why don't, if it's no trouble, you paste each line as individual pictures. Because the moment you paste them as pictures, you can shrink and enlarge like you would a picture. So senang sikit instead of penat nak go within the apa tu, the character spacing lah dengan the font size lah, it will take quite a bit of time. But the moment you paste each individual line as an image, then it's easier for you to shrink and grow the lines so that they become more padat. Jadi nampak macam kotak and things like that. So that's another cheating way to do it lah. But if you want the working file to exist, if you want it to maintain as text form, then you have to play with the character spacing, you have to play with the font size, so that you can align them manually. Yeah, but put them in separate text boxes. Line 1 is one text box, line 2 is one text box, macam Jo tunjuk semalam, right? Like how we create that typography effect. The moment you put it in one text box, then susah sikit for you to manage that. Yeah. Now, for instance, last show, particularly for Imran, some of you may not know this, but this is the effectiveness of what we call line spacing. Yeah. So I'm going to insert a text box. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna change it to the word first. Okay, wait. Let me show this to you. I'm gonna put it as size 60 or 80. I'm gonna change it to Gotham Ultra. Okay, change it to white. I'm gonna say test, work, define, whatever words that's coming out of my mind lah. Okay, thanks, all right, and things like that. Okay, now this might not look nice because they're quite far away from each other. So if you don't want to do it in individual text box, the next thing you can do is go to this button right here, which is line spacing. Okay, line spacing ni, okay, you can go to line spacing options. Line spacing options. Under line spacing ni, currently the default one is single, but you can go to multiple. You choose multiple. And instead of 3 ni, you can choose to maybe go sub-0, sub 1, sorry, not sub-0, but sub 1, 0.8, right? And you can see the lines between, the gap between each line starts to reduce. You can go again, instead of 0.8, maybe choose 0.6, and it will start coming in closer like that, yeah? So it creates a nice, compressed, very edgy, modern look. Yeah, so just play with that line spacing and you will be able to achieve things like this without having to go to individual text boxes. Okay, Imran? All right. Okay, guys. So let's finish this up. I want to take the group picture with everybody so you know with all the wireframes and all that. And with that, thank you, everybody. Again, let's switch on our mics. Ramai-ramai tepuk tangan. Good job. You all have graduated from my full module. Okay. There's nothing more for me to teach you except for the last quarter of the year, which I'll probably create a new module where we are going to sit down together and go through